me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shawty on repeat, I say sleep later. This another favor, consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air, fantasy a dream, real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless, learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless, so I'ma style on them. They washed up, it's a rap, throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win, tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue, get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah, about time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Yeah. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. Vibe with the blue. I'm talking about vibe with the blue. Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward, the battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down, but it's loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather, be weather, be tripping, starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. Hold down here. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this bad at board games. Whole world clueless, selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, Dreamweaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, got the homie. Carter presents. We also got some special guests in the building. We're going to talk about them in just a moment because I want you to know that you are here for the 230th episode of the Blerd Cave, the #1 comic book news stream on this or any other Earth in the multiverse that you can find not only here on YouTube, you can find also on Spotify. You can find it on Amazon, Google, Timbuktu, anywhere where a good podcast may be found. That said, I said we got special guests in the building today. We have with us the creators of Planeta Blue, Rise of Agoo. And that would be none other than Tim Blessed and Mike Laricia. Did I get it right?
Yes. Yeah, you got it right.
Man, look at that. Look at that. I got here, you know what? I'm gonna y'all won't hear this, but I'm gonna hit this for myself. Y'all in the y'all in the chat. Yeah, there you go. I leveled up. So there you go. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, man.
I want to say, well, first off, I want to shout out to the chat here because they're always awesome. But we have got here. I want to pull this up real quick because we got some stuff I want to kind of address in the chat just before we go all the way in because otherwise I'll get lost to time and space, never to be seen or heard from again. Those of y'all who have been with us for a while, you know how it can be sometimes. Sometimes shit just falls back into the chat and the rest is history. But we have got we got us a super chat here like right off the jump. Says Damaris Love coming in with the I forgot I did move that up a little bit. There we go. Coming in with a $9.99 super chat says, so Robert Kirkman said that Stephen Yeun will be everyone's favorite schizophrenic. I personally want to see him rip a god in half. I want to give shout out to Carter because honestly didn't even know what the hell he was talking about here at first. And like I had forgotten about the whole Thunderbolts rumors, leaks, and whatnot with regarding Stephen Yeun playing the Sentry. It is so far removed from my mind that I was just like, oh yeah, that's still a thing.
No, it was a recent like art stream that Kirkman did where he was like, I don't know if I can talk about this, but fuck it, Marvel can't do anything to me. He confirmed it. He told me he was Sentry. He said he guessed he loves playing as superheroes that are wearing yellow and blue. So I'm like, I feel like Marvel's gonna get the bag off of you real quick. I feel like Marvel finna give that white man good 10 lashes. I feel that's what. I feel.
Yeah. Oh no, in the middle of the public square. You remember what was it on Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
that's what he gonna catch. He gonna catch that Starship Troopers. He gonna take them lashes in the town square, and everybody's gonna be like, "Ooh."
Kirkman finna have to put his hand on that wall. I feel like it's coming.
Look, he already had to put it on the wall in what was it, Crossover?
Oh man, he bandaged him up with all his money.
Look, Robert Kirkman. Let's be real. Robert Kirkman ain't hurting. So
not at all.
He's all right. He's all right. It's us that are hurting, right?
Yeah.
I haven't reached that level. I'm not on Kirkman level with the money.
We are the Walking Dead.
You're right. Exactly. So I mean, I just want to go ahead and say, for those that don't know what treat you are in for right now, what you can expect out of this. I'm going to tell you right now. So we got, I said earlier, we got the creators of Planeta Blue, Rise of Agoo, and this is probably one of the more interesting premises I've seen on a comic in a while. The setup for this is actually pretty wild. It gets off to the races like real fast. So I want to, if you would be so kind, would y'all like to give a little insight into, and I'm actually going to pull some images up while y'all do so. If y'all be so kind to share with all of the denizens of the cave right now,
Mhm.
what is Planeta Blue?
Yeah, man, it's this Afro-futuristic adventure of these young people from New Bedford, Massachusetts, where I grew up, youth of color, who just stumble upon this war. They're just at the beach, and all of a sudden, things start spraying overhead. Classmates start coughing and dying, and then they get just whisked away by a tribe of dolphins to Atlantis, where they're getting put on trial for the atrocities that human beings have caused for the planet, towards animals and other human beings. And so it's, about love, compassion, sacrifice, teamwork. But it's these young people fighting this oil tycoon billionaire turned evil world conqueror. And so there's a lot of action. It's based in reality because, as we know, we're damaging our planet, our ecosystem, and also they get powers from animals. And so that's the rise of Agoo. And I'm from West Africa, Cape Verde, and agua is a way that you can say it, but also Agoo is a way. And so it's, as we know, water is life. And so there's this magical water that gives these young people the power to talk to animals and also possess their strength and agilities and abilities. And now they got to stop, the evil dude Xander, so that there isn't more of this apocalypse that's happening. So it's fantastic, man.
So, and this is something I thought was pretty wild here, is that with the characters that you have present, like you mentioned the powers and stuff that come into play, like and they come up in some pretty interesting ways. And once again, I'm so terrible with names. Is it Lares?
Laris.
Or Laris. Okay, there you go. I was close.
Laris.
Like I said, I'll fuck up a name in a heartbeat. I'm not above
worries.
it. I'm not above it. I'm a menace. J. Jonah Jameson is always looking for pictures of me. But no, so like Laris is basically like kind of like I would dare say, like, she's pretty much like kind of like your main, like, like all the characters for the most part, they get their moments. Everybody kind of has opportunities to get that depth, so you get to know them. But like, she's the character that you probably will be spending the most time with, like right off the bat. And you, as far as like avatars and and things of that nature go, what I really liked is and really, this is just for kind of really honest blanket statement for everybody involved. But the living, breathing nature of the character. I like the like, especially early on, very beginning of the book, you see it like real heavy at first, where the characters are talking to each other. Her and her brother. It was Angel.
Angel,
they're going back and forth, kind of snapping on each other, and and it feels like it feels familial. It feels familiar, like it feels right. So like, where, like, first, I guess you kind of already gave us a little bit of insight on what was kind of the inspiration for the plot of the story, which and this is something I was actually going to ask later too anyway, so I guess technically we just bring it all up now. They're like the story has like a message, something to say, and it, like, especially early on, like it pretty much tells you, like, right off rip, is like, y'all are messing this, y'all messing this up, y'all are messing the planet up, y'all got to straighten this out, like. And without going into, like, I will say I appreciated this was able to be done without going into Captain Planet territory. Because you always that is a danger. That is a risk.
Yeah.
That's a risk you run when
Yes.
you
He ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, right. look, and I want y'all to. I'm not even talking about the Don Cheadle. I'm not even talking about Don Cheadle, Captain Planet. I'm talking about like old '80s. Captain Planet. He's a hero, gonna bring pollution down to zero. That's what I'm talking about.
With his mullet.
Right. Yeah, oh my god. I just want to say real quick, Captain Pollution. That's when you know you jump the shark. You jump the shark when you have a Captain Pollution. But no, y'all, it was done in a way that doesn't dive into like that kind of territory. But I guess before we talk about the characters, just like as far as like the setting and everything goes, like what was I guess what was the drive? Like what was the drive? Like what was the spark on that? And then we'll talk about characters.
It's just knowing that the youth are not only the future but the now. That's why, as a youth worker, for me, as an activist, as someone who has worked with young people all my life, right? I knew the Angels, right? And that character was cast off of a student of mine at the beach. So that opening scene is just ripped right out of my life, their lives, working for Youth Build in New Bedford, where you have these young people who, some of them are court involved. They're all good kids trying to survive, like all of us, trying to make a way. And here is this interaction that always happens with youth, where they're always capping on each other, going back and forth, but there's love there, right? I have an older sister, I have children, right? So all of this is like, man, this is happening in real time. We're seeing what's happening, whether it's in the Middle East, peace in the Middle East. We used to say that in the 90s. Here we are, 2023. We're back at it again, right? We're in these cycles. We're in these circles of just these cataclysmic or potential like end of the world, right? We hear it all the time, like this is gonna end the world, it's catastrophic. But how do we react to it? Do we just sit around and just wait for it, or do we do something about it? And so Laris, that young woman, is based also on a student of mine, doing these hip-hop workshops that I do. I see this young woman who I'm like, could Laris rise to the occasion? Like, you're getting put on trial, and depending on what you say right now, the animals are gonna either release a tsunami that wipes off most of the population or not, right? And so could a student of mine, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, rise to that occasion? I'm like, she could. Laris, Jaylee was the young woman's name. She could, and she's actually voicing it. We have an audiobook coming out later, early next year, and she's voicing it for me because I wanted that authenticity to come through. And so when she's capping with her brothers, like me and my older sister, who's a lawyer now, right? Like I'm capping with her, she's capping back. But there's always that love. There's always someone who could step up and really show who we are at our core, right? Because you have these maniacal, diabolical, what we call leaders, that are billionaires, potential trillionaires, ruining our world. But then there's everyday people like you and I that got to fix it somehow. We got
to deal with it.
We got to deal with it. We got to deal with actual like flooding, in the hood, or trying to escape the hurricane and Katrina, and like, where do you go? The Superdome? Oh, hell no. Like, you can't trust in the government no more, or ever, right? Or ever, when we think of the Tuskegee experiments that were run on. So this was all going on in my mind, but at the same time, it's just a story about these kids, who get thrown into this crazy adventure, and now they're in South Africa, and they're tripping like, why is it cold when it's the summertime? It's like, no, y'all, and we're in Africa. Why is it cold? Oh, So a lot of research went into it to give it that realism, but also like a lot of action. And I wanted like, this Harriet is an eagle, right? And she's a bald eagle in this. And she got to like talk about like, the council is voting, like, should we, get rid of the humans or not? And I'm like, nah, it'd be dope to have Harriet Tubman as, her spirit, as the bald eagle, being like, I could say no, but, I got vision and I could see human beings, especially these youth, they got a potential to turn things around. So this is what I would see every day when I would go into Youth Build and see these young people who are downtrodden, like, undervalued, but they are still like hopeful for the future, and they're still smiling, and they're still like, you know, let's go jump off the 12, you know. So all these things are like reality based, and then here's this crazy thing where you got to blow the conch to stop the nuclear threat, right? So it's like it's all this mix of reality versus fantasy and fiction, which I think for me, getting the feedback from the youth, it was very important for them to say, like, thank you for capturing our voice. I can hear it, and I'm optimistic. Where's part 2, right? Is what's dope about what we've done.
Now, and that's something I just want to point out too, because this is actually, you brought up, Harriet. I like that the animals, but which, by the way, in case we haven't already made it incredibly clear, the animals. I think I pulled up a. I'll pull this up just so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about here. But the animals in the story, they talk, and they all have opinions, nuanced opinions, a lot of them, about the human race. So, which I thought was pretty cool. Because you start out and it's like, oh, well, we don't like y'all. It's like some of the animals do not care for humans, and
understandably,
which I mean, honestly, I'll be brutally honest. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I was a shark, I wouldn't like humans either. And they all have. Like here's the thing, and this is kind of what I appreciated about I said the animals, all their opinions were pretty nuanced for the most part. I really appreciate that none of them were cartoonish in how they felt. Like all of them, like each of them, I felt was an argument. Like each of them felt like an argument, and a valid argument, not like a. I don't know, maybe. No, these are arguments. These are good arguments here. For why humans should or should not be spared. And it's like, which I think, honestly, of all the Harriet was probably the most nuanced of the of any of them, honestly. But everyone had their reasons, like, hey, they do be out here fucking up, but like, come on, man, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with them? It's like we're gonna blame all of them. It's like no, all of them. They're all bad. It's like, I don't know, maybe some of them. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's what was dope. And I let Mike speak to it because these animals aren't like wearing a t-shirt, and a hat, right? Like they're real animals, right? And they just because they tapped into these young people tapped into the power of Agoo, they're able to talk to them. But Mike did, as the illustrator, such a great job in capturing like the realism of the animals. And I don't know if you want to speak to that. Well,
when we originally were talking about it, you don't want to fall into this sort of trope of the talking animal situation where it almost becomes cute and lighthearted. We wanted viewers to really buy into this reality that this is happening, and there's real stakes involved. And so in order to convey that, we need to have a visual language that doesn't distract from the seriousness of that. But at the same time, it gives us some flexibility to be expressive and to really like move the story along in entertaining and sort of interesting way. So we in the beginning of this whole process, that was sort of one big conversation. Well, how are we going to portray this so that it just doesn't fall into this sort of Disney kind of looking situation where the animals are talking. We've seen that before, and maybe they'll break out in song and teach us a lesson about life, and some of his parents are going to die.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a part when because I wasn't quite prepared for I'm reading this for the first time, and as I was sitting down and the dolphins started talking, I was like, oh. But it wasn't like I don't know if anybody, this is all recent and everything, but it wasn't like I don't know if any of y'all seen the trailer for that movie Wish, the new Disney film. I think it's actually I think it's is it Disney? I think it's Disney. Yeah, it's Disney because it's Wish Upon a Star. But where I think it's like the goat gets the wish that that they can talk, and he's all like, Oh
Your
wow,
deep
I didn't
voice.
know my voice would be this deep. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Like it's like when they talk, they have something to say.
Yeah, when you can think it's Disney if you want to, but then when you hear Serafina talk, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the way, Serafina Shakur.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know, you think it's Disney 1 minute, but then you hear that, or not hear, but you read that story. And I'm someone who I'm constantly watching these different, like, you know, animal videos of them like trying to rescue this seal or things like that. And it was funny just because that was one of the more recent videos that I had seen of like a group of people that like to rescue certain seals, and how they're trying to get the nets off of them, or shit that people are just throwing out somewhere, and now there's it's tied around their necks, and you see all these different wounds from what humans did. So when I was reading her story, I was just like, yeah, because my mind literally pulled something that I had seen before. So just to see that, and let me just say that art most definitely got that across. It did not pull any punches, like in the fucking slightest. It went from beautiful to you thought real quick, and it felt like that was the point, to get that fucking smile off of your face when you're looking at it, to realize how just brutal it is. So that just goes back to the point of, yeah, we ain't the best. So just to hear that story, and you go from the animal's perspective of them getting emotional, seeing Loris like in fucking tears, and then you have Moo just flat out just saying, "Get them the fuck out of here." That part, I'm not gonna lie to you, it made me laugh.
It's like, no, they got to go.
This is who the humans are. Get them out. Like, if this was Showtime at the Apollo, he wanted Sandman Sims to get them off stage immediately. So
Sage, right?
you
Sage the turtle. You talking about the turtle, Sage?
So like you
like,
you
"They
can
got to go."
truly see their perspective in all of this. And we don't have a lot of books that do that this well. So I really want to just commend you both on that, because you're getting that point across, and you're getting it off in a way that's not preachy. It's honest.
Yeah. That's
You know,
actually the best word for it. That is actually the best word for it. It's honest.
Yeah,
It's very honest.
And to be honest, yeah, man, I like, you know, writing this, I really, there was part of me that's like, man, you know, are people gonna feel uncomfortable about this? Because, you know, there's this idea of differences in the story, right? Like the way that we like look at the animal kingdom. You know, you see like a dog, and you see there's something there cooking up, right, in our heads, and we say, hey, we're not going to eat this animal, but we'll eat this other animal, whether it's a goat or a, you know, or a calf or whatever it is, right? But it goes beyond, right, with human beings. You know, I really wanted people to understand, and even like Xander, like our main villain, like, and I ran into it, you know, as a Cape Verdean, we were colonized by the Portuguese, and you would see how, you know, colorism was a factor there, like where people would be
still is
like, it still is. We're dealing with, and so I wanted to, because, you know, because it takes place in America, and I thought like the Puerto Rican story and how I interacted with, you know, some Afro Latinos, or, you know, the white Latinos who totally identified as like Spaniards, you know what I mean, was very interesting. And I wanted to go there with it, but also was like, I just got to be honest with it. And I don't know if that's going to throw some people off or not, but guess what? Too bad. Like, we need to have these conversations, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And not to get too high, but like we human beings, as a race, we getting judged. I remember when I was in Cape Verde, you know, for a vacation, and I was at the barbershop getting my, you know, my hair cut, and dude was like, what are y'all doing in America? Why are y'all killing black folks in America? Like asking me, I'm like, me? I ain't killing black folks.
Like,
I got assaulted by cops. You know what I'm saying?
No,
yeah.
you specifically.
You specifically. Why are you killing black people in America? I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about? But that's how the world sees it. And we seem to think just because, you know, whatever, you're Palestinian, you're Israeli, you're this, you're that, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're different. Guess what, y'all? We all lumped in this all together. You know what I mean? It's like this planet, you know what I mean? This ain't like, this is the Titanic, y'all, if we don't get it right. Like, we all going down. You know
everybody has to go to the same emergency room for real.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like you all get stuck in there.
Right. Well, no, that's 1,000. That's 1,000%. Well, you know, I was actually telling somebody this the other day. Like, the stuff that's going on with the planet currently, none of us who are right here, right now, sure, we probably won't have to deal with that. But if you have children, they probably will. And their children's children.
It's not a probably.
like their children will most certainly have to deal with it. Like it's not like it's one of those things. It's kind of like, you know, it's the ultimate, jokingly, you know, there's always that, you know, that Michael Jordan meme, you know, oh man, fuck them kids. But I mean, that's the attitude of, like, and it's not to say people are actively just saying that, but I mean, but the actions that they take is what perpetuates that. And you may as well just say it, even if you aren't. But I do want to say, and Mike, I want to put some respect on your name, because as an artist myself, and I usually have these conversations with other artists. Like, you know, sometimes some of the things that come up are like the things that we don't like to draw, and that list for me is long. It's actually like, I always used to think it was a short list, just largely because I always undersell the things that I don't like. Like as far as or rather the number of them. But like, I was talking with another artist, we were having a conversation like, oh man, I hate drawing this, I hate drawing that. And then it kind of turned into a whole thing like, oh yeah, this too. Yeah, fuck drawing that. But one of the things that's actually on my list of things I don't enjoy drawing is animals. So I was actually like, going back into, just the book itself. I actually thought it was really cool that whenever the animals in the story are depicted, it is like really, really well done.
Thank you.
Like it's one of those where you can, I don't know, and maybe this might seem like nothing to anybody. Like, well, yeah, of course, it's artists, they can draw animals. But I mean, I think people don't recognize how difficult it actually is to draw certain things. Like every artist kind of has like an Achilles heel, more or less. So like, we always joke about like, the easy one is Rob Liefeld. Yeah, he can't draw feet or hands, so therefore he just does not. And I talk about this with other people that when we talk about artists and comics media, mainstream comics, indie comics, whatever, but more specifically mainstream comics, they don't typically see, like right here, like
I want to show that, man. That to
like,
me was like, you see this, like,
you can usually tell what a person doesn't like to draw because they typically don't draw it in their stories. They find ways to obscure it or get around it. But like, I really appreciate the fact that like, when you see the animals, like they're pretty, large and in charge. They're out there. Like, it's not like, we're just draw a little bit of an animal. But like, no, like it's done incredibly well. Like, I put up an image earlier of Sage, the turtle.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is one of the wildest. I don't even want to spoil it, but like it is one of the more wild conversations with an animal that that you will see in this story. Like, Sage is, and also, even though I don't think this was the intent, or maybe it was Mike. You might be able to put me on game. But this image, I got it right here. Now I know Sage is good and grown, and got that walking stick. But I wasn't paying attention to the stick at first. When Sage started talking about humanity, all I saw was them hands clasped together, and all I kept thinking of was all I kept thinking about was Sage just being like, boy. Like, let me like
that's definitely that's the vibe to it. It's just like, what's up?
It's like, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is what it is. But let me ask you guys this, because we've talked a good deal about the plot, the story, the vibes, the inspiration. But here's something I did want to ask y'all about real quick. Is you mentioned earlier that we got Dark Horse involved here. We got Dark Horse involved. They're publishing the book to like a wider audience, which, to be fair, I think y'all did really well, just period, in and of yourselves, on Kickstarter.
Thank you.
So I mean, let's put a little bit of respect there. Let's put a little respect on your name there. But you guys did really well on Kickstarter, fully funded, backed, all that stuff. I don't have the exact number directly in front of me, but like it was a very impressive number. And so how did the Dark Horse deal come together, if you can shed some light on that?
Go ahead, Mike, because Mike's connect. Yeah, man.
All right, let's go.
Relationships.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a good lesson to anybody who's like an aspiring artist in general. It's about forming really good relationships. But the short story is that in 2005, I got a grant from the Zarek Foundation, which it was back in the day, that was a self-publishing grant from Peter Laird, the Ninja Turtle.
Oh yeah.
One of the mines. They would award that every year, like twice a year, I think, to about like 10 people per award cycle. And so I won that award, and so I published this book called Black Mane, and I did sort of like a independent comics circuit, convention circuit. And during that time, I met an editor at Dark Horse who liked the book, and I remember I signed his book. I wrote the dumbest message in it. Like, I regret it to this day. I was like, I think I was at like a exhibition show that I was exhibiting work from another comic, and I was just like, so like, hey, this is an editor from Dark Horse, and I wrote this dumb ass thing, and to this day I still hate writing messages to people. But anyways, long story short, I kept in touch with him for like 15 years, just constantly. Hey, look, I'm doing this thing, and what do you think of this project? And and it's always kind of like, that's not good, because I was doing very sort of underground comic stuff, which didn't fit in with Dark Horse. So it was never really like in the brand of Dark Horse, but I was always like, hey, check it out. And then just when we did this book, I was like, hey, we have a finished book. We just did it on Kickstarter. It's successful. I think this could work really well with Dark Horse. And he was so receptive to that, even after. So that was like 2007. So 15 years later, here's the finished thing. It's successful. We found a following, and I was surprised how immediately he was like, yeah, this could work, And so over like a period of almost a year, I think we sort of, got the deal going. But I think it was from that cultivation over the years that we were able to like sort of, I could bring it to him and be like, do you think this could find a home at Dark Horse?
Yeah, and he loved the animals too. I remember, you sharing the feedback where, when you sent him the book, and he was just like, wow, the lines on the animals and all this. So for us, I know for me, like, I wanted this story just to hit, like run right away. Like I don't want anyone, like, you're going to know a little bit about the characters, but you're going to learn more as they progress. And so we hit it like running right away with the action and with what happens to these young people. And I believe Dark Horse appreciated that and were looking for something to kind of like push to something that feels a little more real. And I think just a lot of props to Dark Horse, because for us, like that to me is, we all love Marvel, DC, we all love, Image, these are, but Dark Horse to me is like, I don't know, you gotta have a special place in your heart for Dark Horse. And for me, besides, like 300, or just like, for me, it's Lone Wolf and Cub, manga, that to me is like the epitome of all mangas, like that's top line. And so for them to be even interested, right, to even have the conversation, but then for us to actually like lock it in, which is, just like a teachable moment, is like, we're working towards this bigger goal, and it's like, let's make sure that we lock this goal in first, right? Because we want to, you think Dark Horse, like they had pictures, right? You think of Mask, Jim Carrey in the Mask, Hellboy. We want this to become a movie at some point. Like that's our big dream, right? And so it's like, why not partner with folks who get it from rip, that I used to working with independent artists, and it's been dope, man. I mean, the editors over there has been really, really cool. I thought they're gonna be like, we might want to change this and that, and they haven't changed anything, you know what I mean? Any of the content, anything. They just helped with the typos. I mean, which
dude, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. And to hear that you're trying to go about it in the way of not just doing it to get in the house, you want to set up a room in the house. So that's a really great thing to hear, man.
And I have to say that with that relationship, there's so much room for that. They're like, we're going to publish the book.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. We'll publish the book. And that's where, and anything else, we'll connect you with people within the organization, but we're not like locked into this sort of restrictive environment. And so it feels collaborative in that capacity. So it's been a really good experience.
I just say, I props to y'all, because I mean, y'all are in some good company right now. Y'all are in some good company. Y'all are, like I say, you mentioned Hellboy, Lone Wolf and Cub. You've also, a lot of people that have been following channel for a while, you probably heard us talk about Survival Street. And was it the more recent series that came out, was it Minor Threats, and you got was it Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer, and so on and so forth. That's good company to be in.
That's
Academy.
I was about to say, that is, I mean, look,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
right?
Go.
The old, the old Predator. They don't have it anymore. Marvel
Predator.
But Aliens versus Predator used to be a Dark Horse before it was.
Star Wars was Dark Horse. Remember, Star Wars for the longest time was canon. Canon stuff from Dark Horse.
Also, one of my personal favorites. I talked about this on the channel in the past. Martha Washington. A lot of people forget about.
Forgot about that.
A lot of people forget about Martha Washington was Dark Horse, baby.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hell yeah, they got to make a movie out of that. I'm like, yo, let's go. Come on.
That's 100%. You were about to say, Carter.
Well, I was gonna say, since we've pat you all on the back several times now, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back before Dark Horse, before you got the publishing, before you were able to do your summits. How long did it take you to just get this book up and running? Like, how long did it take you to finally say, okay, I want Mike to be my guy in this?
Yeah.
So how long did all of that take for you?
5 years, man. 5 years.
Wow.
Just really, because I'm an MC too. I'm a hip hop artist, so I put out underground hip hop music, and that's like my heart, my passion. And this story was just something that was like kind of like bouncing around in my head as I was telling it to my kids at night, like bedtime stories kind of deal, that then like went to the waking hours when I was like, man, I'm still thinking about this. And so as an artist, when something like feels right, or when it's landing, like at that time it was my boys, they were like 13, 14, so like middle school kids, and they were like excited about this, and I was kind of like workshopping it with them, like, what do you guys think who should be in council, and all of that felt really good, because here's something that is feeling good for me, feeling good with the target audience, because I wanted them to have superheroes that looked like them and all that. And then, but I would also like go back to the music and just kind of like, you know, write a few chapters and go back. But at some point I just had to say, like, listen, like that heart to heart with myself, like in the mirror, like no word of a lie. Like, are you going to be about it? You're just going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to just commit to it and say, like, I'm going to put the music to the side for a while and just focus on finishing this book, because there had already been like 3-4 years in. And I'm just like, I've been telling people about it and people are excited about it. Everything I say, you know, I'm going to the Harriet Tubman Healthy Living Retreat and I'm like pitching it, you know, the few chapters, and the kids are like, yo, that's dope. When's that coming out? You know, and I'm just like, oh shit, like I still got like chapters to write, right? So finally, when I finally like finished it, then it was like, you know, I had friends that also put out books, and they were like, hey, like you could put it out long form, like just the written form. And in my mind, I'm like, nah, I want this to be like a graphic novel. Like this is what got me into reading, was comics and graphic novels. And so, and just serendipitously, like, you know, a friend of mine who I went to college with was Mike's neighbor. And she, you know, was like, hey, like, I know you got this book. My neighbor's a dope artist. And I was like, yeah, everybody says the neighbor's a dope artist. Come on, you got something? Can you send me something? Right? She sent me the link to his website,
and it said dope artist.
Yeah, right, it's a dope artist. No. Yeah, Mike LaRiccia, but instantly, the art just grabbed me. I was like, you know, the colors, the lines, I was like, yo, this dude looks like he could be the one. You know, let me reach out, because I had already reached out to other artists that it just wasn't linking.
It wasn't clicking.
You know, it wasn't clicking, or they would say like, there was someone who put out this book. It was like a children's book called I and I. But dude was like, man, this is that everything's a painting. Like, I don't, you know, I can, like, you got a whole, you know, 250 page kind of transcript. Anyway, so going fast forward, I meet up with this dude, like we set up a meeting, and he was instantly like, we, you know, hit it off with hip hop, with dance hall. He went to the same school as I went to, as far as UMass Amherst, and you know, he's a family man, I'm a family man. So it wasn't like his talent, but also a solid, good human being, which is important for me, because I ain't trying to work with, you know, people that like are gonna mess with my energy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is gonna be challenging. We're gonna go through challenges. Let's find someone that could deal with those challenges in the best grounded, efficient way. And Mike was that dude, you know what I mean? So shout out to you, Mike.
Yeah, and in terms of how long it took to actually make the physical book, once we met and it was an agreement, hey, let's do some concept art to see if I'm a good fit visually. Let's kind of like get some pages down. And that took like, I don't know, like a month or so to do that. Yeah. And then we decided, let's go for the Kickstarter. I spent a month doing an animated commercial for that.
Which was really awesome, by the way. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I am an animator to an extent. So and that was all like traditional animation. Nice. But the book itself took about a year. It was during the pandemic. And, you know, it's different when you have a project and you set a deadline. Whereas, you know, when Tim was writing it, there was sort of this time over time, you know, kind of developing it. And then once we sort of been like, well, here's the intention is that we're going to do Kickstarter and we want to deliver it by a certain time, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, that was the goal.
And that was stressful, y'all. Like just word to the wise, anyone do a Kickstarter, like plan your whole campaign out, like months. Like we took a month to plan it and then a month to execute it. And, you know, and it was important just to have investors, have people who already were like, hey, should I like hold that money for when we need you towards the end? Because it can be really, that shit can be stressful if you're not ready for it and prepared to like, you know, because if you don't meet that, you know, match, which was 10,000, then you're gone. Like it's done. And then once we met that, the problem was, you know, in the middle of a pandemic is the supply chain was an issue, you know what I'm saying? And so we were like, you know, I caught COVID, you know, pre-vaccine. So we're like, we gonna make it? You know what I mean? You know, back then when everyone's like, you know, packaged in plastic when they go out shopping type of deal. So that put a little pause in it, but we got through it. Like, you know, we got through it, thank God. But then there's a supply chain and there's a deadline to drop this book. And luckily, everyone was going through it. So we were like, hey, the book is going to have to be delayed by another, you know, month or so. Everyone was like, yo, no worries, you know, because we were always communicating. That's what was important, is just communicating with our supporters and our backers, and yeah, and it worked out. But it was a grind, man, like anything else. But because we're passionate about this, because we love it, we love comics, we're doing it for the culture, always for the culture. I tell my young people, you know what I mean, my sons, like, we ain't doing this to have Lambos and Ferraris. That would be nice. We'd like those, come on. But the point is to really, you know what I mean, like, tell a story that inspires young people and also like adds to, you know, this kind of this culture, this reality that is the comic world, you know, and do something that's like, nothing against the soups with the capes, but these kids don't have capes, you know what I mean? They're just regular, you know, with their Jordans and their, you know what I mean, and their jeans and, you know, whatever, and they're just going out there and having to do what they got to do, because that's what I wanted, you know, the young people to see themselves, and I'm glad that they are, you know what I mean? To have my 13-year-old now look at it and finally read it and then be like, actually, that was pretty good, you know. I'm like, and he's like the biggest critic, you know. My son Rasta, he's the biggest. For him to actually, because he tells me all the time, like, I ain't feeling that, but he was feeling it, and I'm like, all right, let's go, and he could see himself there, which is important.
Dude, that honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Screw what everybody else got to say. That would be it for me. I'd be like, all right, it's good. I'm like, it's good. I can
die now. That's my cousin has a group, hip-hop group called I Can Die Now. Never, what does that mean? It's like, yeah, like that's it. I did my piece, y'all.
No, you did it. You done. That's it. I don't care what nobody else. Like, I mean, that's cool. Y'all think whatever, but I mean, no. I already got the final word on that. We good here. I wanted real quick, because I want to, actually didn't mean to hold y'all this long, but I do want to ask one last thing, because you did say that you had an audio book in mind, and I already know I actually pulled up just a moment ago the trailer that y'all had made. So and I remember in the pitch, in the Kickstarter pitch, you brought up the idea of it being an animated series and moving to other mediums outside of comics. So like, have y'all put any more? Has any more like groundwork been laid on that front, or is there anything that y'all could that I don't want to make it hot, because I know there's always like stuff going on. There might be NDAs. There might y'all know how Marvel usually is. They got like ninjas with sniper rifles and shurikens and stuff that like the red dot just gets on your head as soon as you start. I don't know if y'all got anything like that going on, but like, is there anything y'all can talk about?
Not that we know of.
Okay. No, we definitely got things going in the works. You know, we got these two, like, you know, major production companies that we've met with, right? And they're interested, but we're in the process, right? And which is really dope to have, you know, our pitch go to like the president of one of these companies, you know what I mean? And they're looking at it. So we're like, fingers crossed that it moves in the very least. At least this president of, you know, I can't say it.
No, because I'm not gonna lie, I already saw the red. I don't know if you saw, there was a red dot that literally like right there, right between the eyes. It started. Be careful, man. Don't go out like that.
I mean, these things, they do. Just so y'all know it, they do take time, but we're happy how it's tracking, right? How it's moving, how it's moving in that direction, and to have, you know, us have certain, you know, conversations with folks, and they're asking kind of like, would you all be willing to do this or that? Or, you know what I mean? That's like very, you know, affirming, you know, the potential, like, you know, whether it's streaming, right? Like we're pitching, ideally it would be a movie, right? That's like a big thing, but also like a series on one of these major streaming platforms that I can't say who, but would be dope also, right? So we're like, hey, universe, we're open to it. We want to see this manifest in this way, so bring it on, because at the end of the day, and I always say this, like the most important thing to me is the youth of New Bedford, who are super talented, getting first crack at this. Like I want them to either voice it or act it. If it's a live action thing, let's get them in the room to try out. And I'm telling them, like I've been telling, like, bring your A game, because we're not gonna have, you know, a subpar actor on this. Like you gotta, and I believe in you that you can bring your A game, but bring your A game because that's who we want to be like representing this, you know, as far as casting. So
yeah, and this whole process, it's there's no like real textbook on how to navigate through this world, you know, and so I'm actually pleased with sort of the pace it's going because I can see how you could just get wrapped up really quickly in a situation where, well, now I'm working with a huge corporation. I don't know what I'm doing. Is this a good deal? What's happening? You know, so we had seriously because we've had a lot of good connections with people who will be like, hey, look, you know, if you need some guidance, if you need some sort of, I don't want to use the word mentoring, but sort of that like people who understand what's going on in those worlds and say, hey, here's some different directions you could go with this, and here's what's really going on in that industry, and like, you know, it's been eye-opening to say like, well, maybe we rather a movie than a show, or you know, because at first you're sort of like, I just want to get it out to the world, but
because some of this just like they're like talking 2028, you know what I mean? Like the earliest, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like 5, whatever, 10 years, like, and it's understandable. And we're pacing this out because we got families, you know what I mean? And that's important, man. I used to look at my mentors and be like, what happened to your kids? Because, you know, the kids that y'all are mentoring seem great, but your kids seem like, you know, they need a mentor in the house, right? So that was a lesson to me. Like, focus on your kid. Like, honestly, if you just raise some solid kids that love themselves, you know what I mean, and love other human beings, we won, y'all. You did your job, right? Mission accomplished, for real,
Facts.
right? And that's always at my forefront. Is like, hey, like this is good. Like, yeah, the accolades, the likes, that's all good. But at the end, if my kids are like, my dad never really cared about me or was absent, like what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like, hey man, that's important to me. And so the pacing is moving at a good pace, and we know I'm gonna speak it out there. At some point, we're gonna be on the red carpet. We're gonna be sending y'all the invitation. Let's go see the premiere, and it's gonna be amazing.
Manifest that. Well, so we got November the 21st, so literally just in a handful of days. The book goes live. It's gonna be out there in the wild for everyone to get their hands on. There is a link in the description. There's a link pinned in the chat. That'll take you, I think in the description I have it where there's a link to the website as well as to Dark Horse. In the chat there is, because you can't put more than one link in the chat. It gets weird. I've tried, it gets weird. But that is pinned. It'll take you straight to the website. Pre-orders are still up for the book. It is just keeping it a buck. It is a fair price for what you were getting, because you are getting a lot of story. I wasn't like page counting or anything, but like it felt like a solid like 6 or 7 issues, I think. And actually, I would dare say more than that, because a lot of them are kind of I know like some of it's not really the arcs aren't necessarily laid like in like the most traditional of senses. So like if you're like just insider baseball, for me, I usually judge everything by page count, because I'm like, 22 pages, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is how long it'll take me to read this. I do that a lot because I have to read a lot of comics. But like when I was reading, I was like, I don't even. Honestly, just kind of doing its thing. The story goes where it needs to go, for however long it needs to go to get the point across. And I was like, that's cool. So there's a lot of story here. So I believe it's what the paperback is $19.99.
Yep, yes, sir.
A favorite number here on the Blerd Without Fear channel. Carter just had some PTSD just then, me just saying it out loud. And it's there. It's going to be available everywhere. Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble. First of all, I didn't even realize Barnes and Noble was still a thing. Even Target and Walmart are going to be
Let's go, my book. Walmart people.
So, I mean, honestly, look, can I be real with y'all? Can I be real with y'all just for a minute?
Yeah.
You can have your book anywhere. Like, I mean, that's cool. You got your book on Amazon, but let's be real. Anybody can get a book on Amazon. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
But if you can get a book in a place like Target or Walmart,
Yeah. Yeah.
you've arrived. Because I'm gonna tell you right
we
now,
won, man. We
that's
did
where
it. We
everybody
did it. We made it.
Look.
We made it. Like some Wu-Tang stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, it just because I gotta drop a clues bombs for y'all. Man. I gotta. That is. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, look, if you would have told me, oh yeah, man, we got our book in Amazon, I'd be like, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you said, but no, I'm looking at the website right now. Look, y'all, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna show y'all because y'all don't believe what the fuck I'm talking about. And I want y'all to know I am serious. I am serious. I am serious people. Okay, I'm serious people. Look, there it is, right there. It's right there, y'all. All y'all got to do is just show the hell up. So just show the hell up. That's all we're asking. Anyway, I guess real quick, any last thing that y'all wanna hit us with before y'all get out?
Yeah, my thing is, hey man, support it for yourself or buy it as a gift, man. I think it's important to spread this. As a non-English speaker, from me coming from West Africa, like comics was my entry point. And there's a lot of young people out there who don't like to read, as we know, but comics and graphic novels are their entry point. So go out there, scoop it up, share it with the fam. We want to make more. Like this is the first. It's its own story, but there's more to come in this arc, and I've already like carved it out. So that you can be on the ground floor of this and just see how this journey kind of evolves. And we want you to come on this journey with us. So come along, y'all. Let's lock in, form like Voltron. Let's go.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll add to that. As an artist, I'm a firm believer that like art has sort of a magic to it, and especially with comics. And we're not just sort of pushing a book here. This is sort of a piece of work that it's more than entertainment. It's something that's going to hopefully inspire people, make people think, and bring people together in the sense that they relate to this concept of like, we're all in this together. We got to do something about this. So it's more than just, hey, a fun read. It's something that like, we know it hits people in the right places, and so it's worth it. And that's my pitch to say, this isn't just a fun book to read.
Yeah,
it's
pick
it's
it
more
up,
than
pick
that,
it
so.
up, pick it up. Yeah, pick up the book.
Hey, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first, man. Go check out this book. It's there. It's ready for you. November 21st. It's going down. Yes. $19.99. Y'all know what time it is. Go check it out. Go hit up. Heck, you might, I would dare say, just because of how readily available it will be, I would dare say you could probably even find it in your LCS, your local comic shop, most likely. You might be able to even order it through your local comic shop. So, like I said, there is no excuse. There is no excuse.
There's also 18 bonus pages in it too. They're like,
oh wow.
Behind the scenes stuff and stuff about
in the paperback, yes.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff in the back there.
I'm not gonna lie, you got me with that alone, because that's actually the part of most trades and graphic novels. That's the part I'm usually looking at the most.
So just so you know, I tried to design it specifically to be an unusual set of bonus pages. So it's not just like black and white ink drawings. There's all like stuff about us and like his original drawings he did before he met me, and comparing those things.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah. So once again, if I haven't made it incredibly clear, go click the damn link, okay? Yes. Go click the damn link. Thank you so much, both of y'all, for hanging with us. Like I said, I know we went over a little bit, but I appreciate y'all chilling with us. I'm gonna make sure to like I said, there will be links down below. Go check these brothers out, and go support Planeta Blue, Rise of Agoo, and we're gonna be right back. We're gonna take a brief little break. Like I said, just give us a couple of minutes. We'll be right back. We're not going anywhere. We'll be there. All right, y'all. We're back. We're back, y'all. Carter's going to grab some water real quick, but I figured when we get back in here, I'm gonna go through these super chats we got in here because we did get some stuff pop up. Let's see here. Oh wait, are you back? Or I thought I heard him come back. Never mind. Anyway, let's see. We got the homie Levesso Samurai says, quick hi and bye. Says, visiting family in the hospital. Have a great show, fellas, and get them likes up. Thank you, please. Thank you for that. It says, P.S. I enjoyed the Nerds of Culture show. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you did. We'll be back. Well, we won't be doing a show because the timing on it was kind of weird. I wasn't even thinking about it. Probably should have waited, but we just went ahead and did it anyway. But we're actually taking a break this coming week because obviously Thanksgiving. Everybody else will be busy too. So we are going to take a break this week, but we will be back the following week with that show. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. The Red Rory with a $20 says, super blessed this week with 2 shows and love all the amazing takes on the culture. Much love and get the motherfucking likes up. Thank you for that. We appreciate that, pimp. We appreciate you, pimp. Thank you. Gabriel, the Dark Knight, is coming in with a let me. I haven't had a sip yet. Hold on. Gotta wet the whistle. With the 1999 super chat says, happy Saturday, everyone. Enjoying the show and your guest comments. Just showing support. Keep up the great content. Thank you. We were very happy to have Tim Blessed and Mike Laricia here with us just to kick it. It was awesome. LJ Brown, fine pass us. Tim, I wish I would have seen this earlier. Tim, I love what I hear about the story. Not to go too for their follow-up or series next project. They do have more. I think they technically said they got more coming after this. So there you go. Man, and the homie, $2 super chat. Michael DeFonte with the $2 says, Massachusetts here, saying congrats on the comic. Hey, dude, look at that. And the Elite X1 with the $2 super chat says Steven Yeun is possibly Sentry. They gonna be mad. You know who they is. So I think it's obvious at this point. You already know. Y'all already know what time it is. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see, Carter, you are back. So I'm gonna pull you up. And there we go. Bam! Look at that. Look at him. Literally came back as he was taking the sip. Man, wait, what's in there? That ain't water, is it? Oh, wait. You went quiet for a sec. He don't want to answer that question. That's what it is. Okay. Oh, okay. Here. Oh, yeah. You know what? I should probably do this for you, Carter, because you don't see anything that's going on right now.
You've been muted the entire time. For whatever reason, you've been muted the entire time.
Huh?
I can hear you now, but I don't know why. Because when you came in, I didn't see anything, and you were just muted the entire time.
Oh wow! I was getting levels in OBS. That's weird. That is so weird. Huh? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see something. Like,
I can hear you on YouTube. Don't pay Robo no mind. He trying to fuck with production. I can hear you. YouTube can hear you.
Okay. I was about to say, I was very confused.
Be good.
Yeah. Hold up. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, nah. I was about to say. Oh, he was talking about you. You being muted. That was, well, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about, okay? That's not what we're here to talk about. We got a question here from Pop Culture Guy. Says, with the $4.99 says, if the latest Mr. Fantastic casting rumor is true, do you think Fahey wants to make him an expecting father by the end of this his first movie? Well, I mean, if it is actually, like, I'm gonna go into it right now. I don't want it to be Pedro Pascal, not because he's not white, but just because I would rather him play somebody else. But if it was Pedro, Yeah, Sue getting broke off. So that just is what it is. I'm sorry. I'll danger. I'll hit the button for myself. That said, let's get back to it. Because we got some other things we got to talk about here, man. We got a lot to go into. First and foremost is Carter. Did you want to go ahead and I guess, well, you know what? Let me check and see what our let me see. How do I have our stuff set up here? Because I think we actually have more than a handful of things that are probably going to get taken off this thing here for today. Yes, there are. Okay, cool. Let's get back into our shit. We are going to talk about Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, up.
Scotty Pilgrims. So, Carter.
Yes.
Scott Pilgrim took off. I now get why they call it that.
You say you don't get?
No, I said I do get. I do get why they called it that. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if you went into this anime, this animated series, wherever you want to call it. Honestly, anime is just a Japanese word for cartoon, but whatever. If you came to this story expecting a 1-to-1 live action retelling of the comic series Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or if you came to this expecting some retelling of the movie, this isn't really. I'm kind of gonna try and keep us out of spoiler territory on this one, because I do feel like you should see it for yourself. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now, you are gonna be sorely disappointed if that is what you wanted and all you wanted.
Which is kind of nasty if that's what you wanted. You just wanted a 1-to-1 you wanted a Watchmen of Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
Like you said, we're staying away from spoilers because the shit just came out. But
yeah,
if you're one of those people that wanted that for some reason, you're a very strange individual. If you're one of those people that didn't want to watch it because that's what you assumed they were going to do, you are incorrect, and you can actually watch it.
Yeah, this is so I guess let's go ahead and put this out here on blast.
Yeah.
We can put this part on blast. Everybody. So Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is the anime series. It's like 8 episodes. This is it's all done in the same art style as the comic. So like when you see these characters, they are going to look, for the most part, pretty damn close to Brian Lee O'Malley's art style on this. And what's the matter?
See, okay, it's two things.
Go ahead, shoot.
One, LJ Brown in the chat saying, but it does have the live action movie actors voicing it. Correct, which is why I think a lot of people
that's true
had this idea in their head that if it has everybody from the movie, they're probably just going to do a 1-to-1 from the movie in an animated format. Wrong. So even though it does have the live action actors voicing those characters, it is still a completely different story than what you are expecting. So you're still able to come into this and be surprised at what you see.
Yes.
Second thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, shoot.
The second thing that just has my head in my hand. I'm trying to angle you and YouTube so I can see everything because I can't see your screen. But
you know what? I was gonna show it to you, but like when you said something about me being muted, it threw me off my whole game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just
like, bruh. This is the #1 comic book, blah 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 blah, and any and all blah 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 blah. Comic books, keyword comic books, Blerd Cave comic stuff. He talks about comics. Every week he's dropping videos. I have a Superior Spider-Man video that's locked and loaded. I just ain't put the motherfucker out. I did it yesterday.
He
Mind
does.
business. But I want to like Scott Pilgrim, but I can't get into the idea of fighting 7 people to date somebody.
Uh-huh.
There are so many different words I want to call the individual that just said that in chat.
Oh.
When you are on a comic book live podcast, keyword comic books. Spider-Man, that's easy. Superman, sure. Watching Invincible, ain't no problem. Regular rich white man beating motherfuckers up in the street and been doing it for decades, but still young. No tiff, no taff. One dude fighting 7 people to date somebody with video game references and music by Anamanaguchi. That's where I gotta draw the line. Get out.
Oh,
Get out.
No. Okay,
Get
so
out.
here, I'm glad. Oh, Seth. Okay, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and get this
Get
out of the
out.
way right now. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let's just pull the Band-Aid off here. We actually talked about, I think this was actually one of our stories a while back, Carter. We actually talked about the fact that this was not going to be a 1-to-1 adaptation on the show. Now, I don't think you or I knew how much they said they were going to change, but I do remember us talking about the fact that Brian Lee O'Malley said that they were going to be remixing some things that happened in the movie and the comic, and that some things weren't going to be exactly as they were. And they did say that the 7 evil X's were going to get a lot more screen time than they did in the movie.
I respect the fact that you didn't let that stupid ass comment deter you from talking about the show and keeping us on point. I respect it. I respect
I like, honestly, well,
that was so clean the way you just did.
I mean,
It
well,
was smooth as fuck.
So, you know, so Robo in the chat, he knows, which, by the way, Robo also, you can find on Nerds of Culture, that we did this past Saturday, but Robo will know exactly what that might have been referencing. There is a video that I made him watch on his Twitch channel, leftface.tv, and it was Brianna Joy Gray being asked a very serious question about voters' rights and ranked choice voting and stuff like that. And instead of answering the question, Brianna Joy Gray just like completely sidestepped it and talked about what she wanted to talk about. Like, she literally sat there, paused, waited a few seconds, and then literally just completely sidestepped. So that was that.
Don't give a fuck about any of that. I said that dude's dumbass comment. You kept the tone like you were responding to that comment and completely U-turned at the light that tells you you're not allowed to U-turn and kept it on point. You are Blerd Brady right now because you deserve a pat on your back like a Patriots jersey. You deserve a pat on your back for that.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Smooth.
I do what I can. I do what I can.
Smooth as fuck. What you
Just like
I feel the same amount of irritation when Trap God Thanos asks a question and then turns it into people getting the likes up, or when you doing one of your goddamn videos and when you go to, like, if you really want to know why Storm is like this, it's because you haven't hit that like button, because you keep the same tone. Like, you keep this. I'm sorry. That was smooth.
Thank you.
That
Robo
was smooth.
said it was a Soulsborne dodge.
Oh, a light one too.
Yeah.
That nigga had all the invincibility frames we get.
It's like when folks do the naked run. When they do the naked run, so they get that fast dodge.
Oh my god, that was smooth. Okay,
But yeah. So, real talk. Yeah. this isn't going to be 1-to-1. I don't think it was ever in any danger of being 1-to-1. I mentioned earlier the evil exes. They actually are in the story. So,
What do you
dude, they get a lot of screen time. Like, without going, I'm not going to go into the why that they get a lot of screen time, but they get a lot of screen time. Like, you get to know these characters a lot better than you would in either the comic or the movie combined even. And it's awesome. I guess so. You know what? Since one of the things that came earlier, it's got all the people from the movie playing the same characters from that here in this anime. So Carter, I want to ask you a question. What did you think about the voice acting? What do you think about the voice acting in this?
I really enjoy the voice acting from everybody. I like Chris Evans a lot as Lucas Lee.
Oh yeah, because he's actually the one that's the least changed. Like he actually, I think he was actually the one who was the closest to his original performance.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. And he was the one like you could tell that was him. It was Allison Pill as Kim and Chris Evans as Lucas Lee. Those are the two standouts for me.
Yeah.
The voice acting, it was great. Like they are those characters, and it was really well done just with the interacting. I will say the one that kind of got me with their voice was Brandon Routh.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes when he's talking, I can visualize him in the live action movie, and then there are other times where his voice changes where he sounds like a damn movie villain. Like you sound like he's trying to like sound more growly and evil and shit. So it's like that was the only thing that kind of caught me off guard. But I really enjoyed the voice acting in this. I'll tell you this: the one thing that this show really made me want is one thing. It made me want a video game based on this show. Another thing that it really made me want was for everybody that is going to watch this live, watch it afterwards, and then listen to it on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. I want all of y'all to buy this on Nintendo Switch so I have people to play with.
Oh, yeah. That's
what I want.
So, okay.
Because it makes me want to play the game again.
Oh no! I reinstalled it the other day because I was like, man, I missed playing this game. Like, and I know we said earlier, because you mentioned Anna Monoguchi, they do have music in the show. However, I want to point out something. One of the things I really loved about the show, and I will say I did skip it a lot because I was trying to get through it before we did the show today. So I kind of mainlined the whole show last night. Is the intro. I really like the intro to the show because
that's one thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say when you said that when you were bringing up the fact of anime, this is an anime because that's an anime intro if I've ever seen an anime intro.
No. Oh no, because so my wife and I, we watched the first episode together, and then I watched the rest by myself. But like one of the first things she said, she was like, I really didn't expect them to actually go full on anime with the intro. Like because she was, I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting, because it's the band. I was like, dude, they're gonna do like one of their songs, like one of the Sex Bomb songs as the intro. I was like, that's what I was expecting. But I had seen the intro weeks, like the week or two prior when they had released it on YouTube, and I was like, oh wow, they went a way different direction with this. They actually made it's an actual anime intro with a song that is in Japanese. It is very much a song. Like honestly, if it wasn't Scott Pilgrim, I would have assumed if you played the intro and I just closed my eyes, didn't look at the screen, I would assume that it was like a My Hero Academia intro or or any other popular anime, that's out right now. I would have just assumed it was that. But yeah, I will definitely say though, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I liked that it did something different. And I will say this, if you're one of those people who watched the first, like, 2, maybe 3 episodes and tuned out because you didn't like the direction it was going, I'm not going to lie, this is one of those rare instances where I would say you might want to stay the course, because it's not till you get to like the 7th episode really that you realize what's actually going on. Like, I will say that is actually probably the one failing of this, is I kind of wish they would have told you a little bit earlier on what was actually happening, because I feel like there's some people who are going to see this, they're going to watch that first couple of episodes, the people that are tuning out of it, I feel like they would be better served if maybe just a little bit sooner, maybe like by episode 3 or 4, they kind of gave you at least a hint or a tease of what was actually happening, like what direction was actually going. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, and like I said, this is not a spoiler or anything. Like I said, we're not spoiling anything about the series. But when it got to that episode, and I want to say it was like either the 6th, maybe it might have been the 6th episode. But I'm almost certain it was the 7th. When you get to that episode, or actually it's a tail end of the 6th and then goes into the 7th.
Yeah.
When I saw what was happening, like the reasonings why the show was going in the directions that it was going, I was like, oh, actually, this was the look on my face. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, all right. like honestly, you always see that meme that of Leonardo DiCaprio and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he like sits up in the chair, he's like, I was like, okay, cool. That's what I said. That's what we're doing. Which once again, I almost want to say something, but I'm not going to say it because I think you should see it cold. I think you should see it cold.
I do feel a little bit differently. I think I think they should have. I think they should have done it the way that they did it. Just because to me, I feel like after the end of the first episode, you're going to be so what the fuck. That
you're going to be taken aback.
I think it'll keep you locked into like, okay, what is going on? That's why I'm telling all of you that are watching and listening right now, once you get past that first episode, you'll be fine. Don't go in thinking this is going to be a 1-to-1 translation. One thing that I probably am going to do, because like I was telling you before we started the show, I actually have one episode left before I'm done with it. There was someone in the chat that says that they've been watching the episodes twice because apparently the Japanese dub is really, really good. I didn't even think to put this on dub. So
that's actually, you know what? I probably will go back and watch it in the dub, in the Japanese dub, just to see. I will definitely say I liked it. Like, I didn't have it like my general consensus is the show was great. Like, I like it as it is. I'm just saying for the people that like, if they, whatever.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead, shoot.
Because I'm still stuck on this because it's so outrageous that premise people just can't take it serious. Is your wife home?
No.
Do you have somebody you know is near their phone right now? I would love for both of us to call somebody and just be like, hey, somebody's watching this comic book show of ours, and the one thing that has just taken them aback, that is just leading them astray, is they can't gel with the fact that somebody would fight 7 people to date one girl. I just want to. Now, I know a lot of y'all are going to be in the chat saying, damn, Carter, that's mean. Dog.
I mean, let's be real. In the grand scheme, like, okay, first off, I've seen anime with dumber premises.
That's
like,
my
honestly, point. Honestly, I'm pretty sure because a lot of I know there's a lot of crosstalk in our audience of people who like comics who also like anime and manga. I guarantee you've read or watched something with a dumber plot than this. And I want to actually, not to cut you off, but I do want to say something real quick because I want y'all to understand something. The plot of the story that is throwing you so hard, it's not even the focus of this anime.
It's not.
It's really not. I mean, yeah, it's a thing that goes on, but it's not like the focus of it. Like I said, I can't really go too much deeper into it without spoiling it, but like, and this is actually something that I appreciated because, you know, Brian Lee O'Malley, I do actually remember a interview where he said that a lot of the stuff that happened in the comic happened at a time in his life where he was a different person.
Yeah.
And then when the movie came along, a lot of the stuff that, you know, I don't know if he had as much creative control in the with the movie, but I know like some of the things in the movie were changed to kind of better reflect the timing. And that's kind of what happened here. Like a lot of the stuff that happens in this anime, like I'm not gonna lie, and I kind of said this with Invincible the other about a week or two ago. I talked about how like there's some things in the Invincible comic that didn't age well. And I know there's some people who try and say, oh, well, you know, how all the characters, you know, keep calling stuff gay all the time, you know, like, well, because someone tried to use the excuse, oh, well, when they say it, you know, to William, it's because he's actually gay. But I said, yeah, that was something that didn't happen in the comic until like I think they were what, almost 100 issues in by the time William turned gay in that comic. And honestly, I don't think it was, Robert Kirkman can try and say it all he wants. I do not believe that was something he planned out. I believe that was just something that happened somewhere down the road. I don't think that was like the plan from day one. But like, even when William wasn't present, it was something that was done a lot. That people would say, "Oh, that's, you know, this is gay, that's gay," so on and so forth. You know, that said, yeah, when you're viewing something that was made under the lens of then, under the lens of today, it's easy to kind of be like, didn't age well. There's some aspects of Scott Pilgrim, the comic, that did not age well. It's a great comic. I still love it. But I can even recognize that there are some things that I didn't care for that pop up in that comic. And a lot of those things are not present in this anime, which shows a lot of growth on his part. And even some of the things that are, they're changed up just enough and addressed in such a way that it's like, this is better. Like, I'm glad that this isn't, you know, 1-to-1 the comic. 100% happy with that. If it was 1-to-1 the comic, I actually don't think I would like it as much. Because I can read the comic anytime. I have it. I can read it. It's there. I can watch the movie anytime I want. I own it on Blu-ray. Watch it whenever I want to. If I want that, I will watch that. But I do appreciate this whole anime shows that Brian Lee O'Malley as a person has grown and matured. He's still a nerd, but he's grown and matured. I will say this, he showed some age. He showed some age on this anime, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a song. Carter, are you familiar with the anime Bubblegum Crisis?
Yes.
So there's an episode. There's an episode where one of my favorite songs from Bubblegum Crisis pops up not once, but twice in this show. And it's fucking awesome. I was completely and 100% totally over the freaking moon when it happened, because it's one of those where, like I said, it was a different time. It was a different time. Bubblegum Crisis is one of like other than Akira, because that also shows I'm an old head. Because, you know, back when I was coming up, the most common anime you hear someone say that like got them into anime was Akira. But after Akira, I was like hungry for more anime. And one of the next ones that, you know, came across my my desk, and I didn't have a desk at the time. Well, I did, but not for that. But you know what I mean. It was Bubblegum Crisis. Yeah. It was Bubblegum Crisis, and the song "Konya wa Hurricane" is the one that they play in the anime. Like, and it's awesome. I thought that was cool. There's lots of little references. There's references to the Virtual Boy. Hell, this whole episode centered around it.
I was really expecting him as soon as he put his eyes in it to go fucking blind. Like
I
was
did too.
Really expecting
I
him
did
to
too.
screw
I did
his
too.
eyes up. One thing I don't even think we fucking talked about. Maybe we did, and my memory is just that atrocious.
Oh, your mic is like you keep cutting out.
I keep cutting out. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me
no,
that.
it's not that you're cutting out. It's like when I can tell. Well, I mean, obviously I can tell because I can see you. But
Of
like
course.
whenever you lean back a little bit, like you
Yeah.
go super quiet.
Yeah. Let me ask you, because
Go ahead.
there were several fight scenes in this thing. How did you feel about the animations and things like that? Did it feel more video game to you, or did it feel more anime, or did it feel like a mix of the two, or like just coming from we both just got through watching Invincible and how they were doing their fights with that animation style. How did you feel about it with this? Because I know one thing that I did see some people talking about was that some people didn't think it really stayed true to the video game stuff or the book, which you didn't see that shit. But as a whole, how did you feel about just the animation and what they used? Because that group, I think it was something Saru. It's at the beginning of the intro.
Science Saru.
Thank you. I've never heard of them. And the first thing that popped into my head when I saw the animation and I saw the fight scenes, and I saw not even just the fight scenes, but the animation styles that was used was, this shit was really expensive. It had to be.
Oh yeah, no, I thought they did a fantastic job. There is so I don't have a shot of it exactly.
There were too many.
There were too many of it, but like the fight with like Lucas Lee in this one.
This one with those those are paparazzi, by the way. Everyone who can see them.
Like all that, like all those scenes with Lucas Lee and he's on a skateboard. This is part where like he goes through like a dinosaur or something. Like it was awesome. I thought it was cool. I liked it. I thought they did a fantastic job on the action and the animation, because you know what they did? They did this thing where they kind of took a little, like it was some of the frames. I don't know if this was done intentionally or not, but some of the frames were kind of missing from the animation, so I'm assuming it was intentional. So like it kind of at the same time, you know, that kind of vibe of motion that you get from like Across the Spider-Verse or TMNT Mutant Mayhem. It's present in this, but without having the same look as either of those animation styles. But in a more, I guess, would be pseudo traditional animation style. Like actually Roxy. There's a fight with Roxy in this where I was like, dude, that is awesome the way they did it. Because there was like Uncharted references. There was like all sorts of like honestly, I feel like if you went through this entire thing and you were like, hey, I want to go back and watch all 8 episodes of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, and I just want to count better yet, this is the one that'll kill you. I want to take a shot every time there is a video game reference. And that's just video games. I'm not even talking about anime references. I'm not talking about just general pop culture references. I'm not talking about nods to shit that happened in the comics. Just video game references. Your ass will die of alcohol poisoning in the first episode.
Especially if you're like up in age like we are, because I'm telling you how nasty it was. When there was a scene with Ramona and Lucas, it's very quick, but I rewound it twice because I could tell there was someone in the background that was shooting a gun.
Oh yeah.
And I could tell when I heard the gunshot that it was the same sound effect from Metal Slug. Who would catch some shit like that?
Yeah.
And I rewound the shit. Wait, I know that sound.
No, it was wild. I was just like, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Look, if it's not obvious by this point, I think it's safe to say we both really enjoyed this. Also, I want to, this isn't really No, I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I'm
Yeah,
keep
I don't
that
even
to
want to.
myself.
I don't even
want
want to spoil it. Like,
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we loved it. We enjoyed it.
Yes.
I will say, okay, there is one thing I will say that I think is your mileage is going to vary on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, earlier we talked about how, like, for the most part, pretty much every character kind of acts, you know, or sounds like because it's the actors who played them from the movie. For the most part, they all kind of sound like their characters for the most part. There's very little that is going on there in that regard. But I will definitely say that there are some characters who may sound different just by virtue of the fact that because this is an anime, they're kind of leaning a little bit more into anime tropes. So some characters are talking just a little bit different, but to match the tone and tenor of the new format of how they're telling the story. Like, I would say, like I said, not all of them. It's only with like some of them. There's certain characters, like, they'll speak in a way that's very anime. Like it'll sound like something they're saying from like anime.
I want to see if your list was like my list. Who are you talking about?
So one of them, honestly, was it Roxy? Every so often there were a couple of scenes everywhere where she would kind of talk less like how she did in the movie, which it's not even by that much, but it's just like, it's just enough to be noticeable. That's like, oh, she was probably directed to speak a little bit faster, and kind of deliver the line in the way that you would hear it in an anime. Like I don't know if that makes any sense. Like,
no. It absolutely does. And I will agree with you there. And because there's a lot of times when she's talking where I can't see it, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I think the reasoning is, now this could just be me, but she didn't have a lot of screen time in the live action movie.
That is true.
I think that's what it is. And that's why it's getting us.
Yeah. It's well, and like I said, there's even characters like Matthew Patel, who's like the first Evil X, and you only see him in the movie for like 2 seconds. Or I'd say 2 seconds. He's only got like a couple of minutes worth of screen time in the movie. Like, I would say 5 minutes is me being generous. But like he gets more screen time in this, and like actually him probably almost more than anyone else. Yes, but that's also because there's certain scenes that he gets where he's getting more to say and do. That like you're kind of like, oh, okay. Also, without spoiling anything, there's a certain canon thing that happens or is mentioned in the story, and I think it's in the 7th episode, as a matter of fact. It was something I learned a while back about, that Brian Lee O'Malley had confirmed when people asked him questions about the Evil X's. That's all I'm gonna say. Carter knows what I'm talking about, most likely, just based off how I worded that. And if he doesn't, I'll send him a message on the side. But that's all I will say about that. There is something in regards to the nature of the Evil X's that is hard confirmed in this, and I thought it was awesome.
Anybody that had their reservations about watching this, well, number one, it's only 8 episodes, so you ain't got to watch a lot. Number two,
and only like 20 minutes.
They're all out, so you're not having to wait for the following week or anything like that. So with all that being said, if you were kind of, I don't know, you're fine. Watch it, enjoy yourself. This was great.
100%. Let's get into I think we got some super chats here. Let's get into some super chats real quick. We got a super chat here from Malik Young with the $20. Says, "Hola, Blur Cohens. I just read Gods 2, and it definitely reads like head up its own rectum Hickman. Sad thing is that there's a good story, in my opinion, if he ditches made-up continuity no one cares about and uses established characters." So here's
Blerd Without Fear.
Yeah.
Y'all watch this. Hey, Blerd Without Fear.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that second issue of Gods did you check out?
So Carter knew what my answer was going to be, because we actually talked about it before, because we were trying to figure out topics, if we were going to talk about any comics this week, specifically, one of the things that came up was, oh, hey, do you want to talk about fill in the blank, whatever, comic. And I think Gods came up, and I was like, look, man, I skimmed that shit. Like I started reading the first couple of pages, and then it was so up its own ass that I just couldn't stick with it. And I eventually just rolled my eyes. And then I just started skimming the pages. Like I just kind of skimmed ahead to see if there was anything popping off. And like, as I got to the end of it, I started seeing new characters that I just already didn't give a fuck about, just on what they were saying on that page alone. And I just put the book down and was like, you know what? I was like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to go with y'all on this God's journey. Okay. And here's the thing. I'm keeping my energy consistent because every time someone asked me about Gods before, like when it was still like before we even started getting the teases in every fucking comic, I said, and I quote, I'm not that interested. Like, I'll wait till it comes out and reserve my judgment. But like, I was like, as it stands, I'm not that interested. So yeah, no. Basically, everything that he's saying, I agree. I agree 1,000%. Like, I couldn't agree enough. And here, this is for all the people, in reference to what Carter said earlier about people who couldn't wrap their head around Scott Pilgrim having to fight 7 people to date 1 girl. Tubes 1 hit the nail on the head with a hammer. 26 months in the Blerd Club. Silvermine, mind you, says Thanos killed half the universe to impress a girl.
No, he did. No, he didn't. That just shows that you don't know Marvel like I know Marvel. He did it for balance.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can't wait for the YouTube comments on this video just to tell you and everybody else that watches that if you want to see an objective review on Gods, just watch Comics Explained.
Oh, man, yeah.
Now, keep in mind,
yeah,
objective just means he like it like I like it. It don't.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah. Oh God. You know what? I'm gonna say it. You know what? I'm sure there's a good comic in there somewhere, but I'm not gonna dig through the shit to find it. I'm not gonna stick my hands in horse shit to find it. So I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna do it. Pop Culture Guy 3000 with the 499 says Science Sorrow did the Food Chain episode of Adventure Time. Lou Over the Wall, Ping Pong the animation. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, Kaiba and The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. Yeah. So yeah, Science Sorrow's actually been out there.
Never heard of any of those things.
I like
check those out there for sure.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like what they did. They did, like, honestly, as far as like adapting, because I will say it's not exactly Brian Lee O'Malley's art style, but it's very close. Like, it's kind of a mix of Brian Lee O'Malley's art and like the art direction of the Science Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the video game. It's kind of a mixture of the two. And it kind of comes together in one nice, neat little stew. But I will definitely say, Carter, you say you haven't watched the final episode?
No.
You are in for a fucking treat.
Cool.
That episode is off the fucking wall. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's good there. But yeah, I cannot wait for, because again, you know what? We're gonna do my recommendation early. I've done this recommendation before, but I'm gonna do it again. I recommend everybody that watches, and everybody that listens, live or on Spotify, Apple Music, what have you. My recommendation for you all this week: go to Blerd Without Fear's channel, click on the live tab so you can see all the Blerd caves. Read them comments.
Oh man,
look at the other side of things.
Oh man. Okay, I just want to put something out here, man.
Them comments.
I will say. So the other day, we did the Nerds of Culture with Robo and Just Chris Cypher, and I remember when I posted when I put it in the schedule, like on the channel. Robo sent me a message like it wasn't even 10 minutes after that I did that. He sent me a screenshot of folks already in the chat arguing. I I was like, God damn.
But no, this will be the a perfect time for them to read them comments, because you're trashing God, you're trashing Hickman. If I gotta see another fucking comment about bet money when this series finally finishes, Blerd Without Fear and whoever the fuck are going to actually come back and appreciate this book for being the fine literature that it really is. I get so sick of seeing that fucking comment on videos.
Oh no.
Some shit just
sometimes shit just sucks. Sometimes stuff sucks. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay, fine. You can say it like that. Yours is better because mine was probably gonna be sexually explicit. Yeah. Sometimes just can't stroke the way you could back in the day.
No, hey, you know what? Sometimes she fakes it.
Now you're just being just disrespectful. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying.
It used to be your left stroke was deadly. Now you got to do a lot more foreplay than you thought you had to. You are not that same high schooler, okay?
Your little left stroke ain't the death stroke no more.
You know what? And just so that I am inclusive to everybody, let me just bring it to the female side of things. Your ladies, both your hands used to be weapons of mass destruction, but now that age didn't hit it, okay? That arthritis didn't hit. You can't grip like you used to, okay? So you got to try other things, okay? That's all we saying about Hickman. Sometimes it ain't just there like it used to be.
Nope. Look, that spark ain't there no more. Pop Culture Guy 3000 also amended their previous statement. Said, wait, Science Sorrow didn't do Kaiba, but that show's writer-director Masaki Yusa founded the studio that did it. So they also did Keep Your Hands Off Izuken. So yeah, that like I said, a good pedigree if ever there was. A solid pedigree if ever there was.
I caught that wrestling reference. And shout out to Mailman in the chat. That fool said that Ramona Flowers he asked if Ramona was voiced by Lori Harvey.
Oh my god. Oh, bruh, stop.
He wants to know if Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, if you had to fight all of Lori Harvey's exes, how many could you take?
Man, look.
That nigga said I'm married.
Man, look, y'all trying to get me in trouble. Y'all
trying to get me in trouble. Cave.
Yeah, let's carry on. Let's carry, because we got to talk about this Madam Webb. Carter, did you watch the Madam Webb trailer? Did you check it out?
So you are not the one who sent this to me. A buddy of mine sent this to me. The trailer is 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yes.
Sent it to me the morning it dropped. It was literally only live for like 10-15 minutes. I say again, trailer was 2 minutes and 55 seconds. At a minute in, I cut it off and went and made a grilled cheese sandwich. And I had a lot more fun making that grilled cheese sandwich.
Wait, was it the part where they said from the producers of Morbius and Kraven the Hunter?
So I have learned never to say who asked for this on the Blerd Cave, because anytime I have said who asked for this, you get defensive and then we have a back and forth because you don't like when people say that. So I will say,
it's not that. It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. But I will actually say it this time. I don't know who asked for this. Like, it depends. It's situational. It's never like a blanket thing. It's like okay, case in point.
Okay.
If someone said, who asked for Captain Marvel in the MCU? I would argue, a lot of people actually, because that's why Marvel did it. If someone said, who asked for Black Panther, because that was a legitimate criticism that a lot of the clears brought up when Black Panther came out. Because a lot of people want to think that, everybody universally just loved Black Panther. No, not everybody universally loved Black Panther. No, there were people who were legit. Like, I remember a lot of, because I like I said, I watch a lot of the other side just to know what they say and do. I saw tons of people like complaining about the fact, Black Panther, a movie that doesn't have but 2 white people in it. Who asked for this? Like, when people say shit like that, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, that's dumb. But this is different because I legitimately want to know, because this is Sony we're talking about here. Carter, need I remind you of when the Amazing Spider-Man franchise was trying to kick off an entire Sony Spider-Man universe, and they said that one of the movies they had on tap was an Aunt May movie? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Because no, that was his parents. Take that back.
You know, they want to do a young Aunt May.
They want to do a young Aunt May. I remember that.
Like, basically, it was around time Agent Carter was like a thing. Or was about, I think, no, Agent Carter was now, yeah, I think it was about to be a thing. I think Agent Carter was on the way or something along those lines. But anyway, point of the matter is they want to do something in that same vein, but with Aunt May. And I was like, okay, so y'all trying to tell me we got a story. Basically, Pennyworth. They were trying to do Pennyworth, but before Pennyworth came out. So here's my thing. Yeah, this time around, this is a legitimate criticism. Who asked? Okay, Carter, let me ask you this. How familiar are you with the character of Madam Webb?
Ooh.
See? See? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, y'all?
It was twofold. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Okay.
Oh God.
I was already trying to collect myself from that question that was just asked. But shout out to one of my homegirls that texts me when you ask that question, because she watches Stuff the Cave sometimes. This motherfucker just goes, that arthritis comment was so real though. So that
look, hey, just like, hey, look, you can't.
Okay.
You can't get that. You don't got that kung fu grip no more.
Stop it. You asked me a fucking question. Let me answer it. Stop it. Relax, relate, release. Relax, relate, release. Okay.
There you go. There we go. We back.
Madam Webb. Carter, what do you know about Madam Webb? I'll tell you, Ernie, from like 30 seconds ago in the past. The Spider-Man animated series.
Okay.
And one random ass issue of a Spider-Man trade I read at Barnes and Noble one time, when it was a red-headed girl and Spider-Man was learning spider foo, and I put that trade back on the shelf.
That was the Julia Carpenter rendition, I believe, of Madam Webb, because there's been 2 of them, as far as I'm aware. Yeah,
that is all I know.
So I'm kind of in the same vein with you, maybe just slightly different. I knew vaguely that Madam Webb was a thing in the comics, but I just didn't really pay attention. But when the Spider-Man animated series of the 90s came out, I was like, oh, okay, all right. She was never a favorite character of mine, and I do remember there being some rumor, and maybe this was confirmed. I can't remember if this was something that was actually confirmed or not. Maybe it was, but she was based on the wife of Stan Lee. I remember hearing that back in the day. But Madam Webb, who is a precog, for those who know what that means, she can see the future. She's clairvoyant. She's also blind. And is a much older woman. Now, granted, you probably say to yourself, Sir, well, she ain't blind in this movie. See, what y'all don't get is, y'all understand. This is Madam Webb Begins. This is Madam Webb Begins, y'all. So I just want y'all to recognize that. But this is the original OG. Oh wait, hold on, let me kill that. There you go. This is the original OG Madam Webb, Cassandra Webb.
Okay, so this is supposed to be the old lady before she was
right. Despite the fact that she's wearing the same fit as the Julia Carpenter rendition.
That's what confused me.
Because here, I want to show you something. This is the Madam Webb you were talking about. That is Julia Carpenter. That is Julia Carpenter, the second ever Spider-Woman. Now that I've said that, the second ever Spider-Woman is in this movie because she is literally right there next to Dakota Johnson. That's Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria fame, if I'm not mistaken.
And yeah, and somebody in the chat, I'm happy you brought that up. Teddy Spaghetti saying, I'm the reason this movie is made. I said to the universe, I wanted to see Sydney Sweeney in tights. I'm sorry, y'all. Bitch, if you don't go watch episodes of Euphoria where she busting wide open damn near every episode, she worse than the little Hispanic girl on first season of Power, getting knocked off by ghosts every episode. Take your punk ass on Max and go watch Euphoria. You got this bullshit movie coming out. What the fuck wrong with you?
Look, see, this what happened when you wish on a monkey's paw. This is how you wished on a monkey's paw for Sydney Sweeney in tights. And this is what you now I won't lie. I have a lot of criticisms of this trailer. I will definitely say I do like the costumes when we see them. For those that aren't as familiar with what's going on here, so all three of these women who are depicted here, all three of them are various versions and iterations of either Spider-Woman or Spider Girl. In the case of the black woman that we see in this, she is playing Maddie Franklin, one of the other another version of Spider Woman. That's Celeste O'Connor there. And actually,
has she ever been in a book, or was she one of the ones that was possibly in Spider-Verse or anything like that?
This is
I've
her
never
right
heard
here.
of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not as familiar with her per se.
Gotcha.
She does exist in the comics, as you can see here. She is obviously a white woman. She's white. But yeah, so that'll probably get some folks mad. The other one that we see, because we already showed off Sydney Sweeney. The other one is Isabella Merced, who's gonna be playing Anya Corazon, aka Spider Girl. We see her a couple of times in costume, but this was like the best shot I could get. All the other was like super blurry. But this is actually what she looks like in the comics. Before anyone says, "Oh my God, they whitewashed this character," no, they didn't. She is Spanish. She's Latin.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a Spider Girl that came from the Ultimate Universe into like main Marvel that was cool with Miles or something like that? Or
I think so. My memory is hazy on all that. It's been 5 ever, but
yeah.
I
don't know why I feel like or maybe that was the one Sydney Sweeney is playing. I don't know for sure.
No. Sydney Sweeney. The one Sydney Sweeney is playing. That's the Spider Woman who debuted in Secret Wars back in 1984.
Got you.
She was the one. Like, you remember there was a this is the Spider Woman she's playing, Julia Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
She was the one who, like, back in the day, she was the one who had the Venom logo. So what a lot of people don't know is that, like, so back in Secret Wars when Spider-Man got the symbiote suit, he looked at her, and that's how he got the logo on him. Because she already had it. She already had it in Secret Wars, and basically it just all kind of went from there.
Let me just say this real quick. I'm gonna let you go because I really, this is 2023, y'all.
Oh, here we go. Bam.
Just,
that was what she used to look like back in the day. So.
Oh, thank you, Sir Yuri G and Chetty Spaghetti. There, the one I was thinking about was Jess Drew from 1610 that was cloned of Peter. That's the one I was thinking about. So
okay.
I do. Okay, that's my bad on that, y'all.
So that makes sense then. Because so you know what? I never really think about her very much because I actually prefer the Jessica Drew of main continuity just a little bit more. Just I prefer her. That's no shade. But
what I was gonna say real quick was just like, okay, I know that this movie is coming out. I get it. I know. But just like those Twilight jokes were played out for Robert Pattinson and Batman, can I just not see any 50 Shades references in regards to Dakota Johnson?
Yeah, okay.
Good or bad? Them jokes is come, bruh.
Look,
please,
let me be real with you. So I personally, I don't want to see him because I'm sorry.
Speaking of goddamn devil, Blerd.radio. Y'all talking about 50 webs of gray. Look at that shit. Look at that
see,
shit.
already 50 webs are great, Lord. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, so okay. I'm going to say right now. What we know about the story so far is not much. It's not much. What we know is this is obviously an origin story that they're weaving the beginnings of the original Madam Web, who so far is neither blind nor and I think later on in life she became paralyzed. From like the waist down or something like that. They're tangling her up in the web of these other characters, these other Spider-Women. So you're kind of getting a little bit of, I guess, kind of like, it's like Spider-Verse light. And I know what people are going to say. I know how this is going to play out so terribly. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be calling this the She Spider-Verse, or they're going to be calling it the Ghostbusters 2016 of Spider-Verse movies.
I feel like they're just going to call these the bad Sony.
Yeah, the bad stuff, right? In a roundabout way, some of those criticisms aren't even exactly wrong, because that's kind of what they're doing. I also am very confused by the inclusion of Ezekiel Sims in this, who I don't know who was checking for Ezekiel Sims in this movie, who, by the way, they just edgelord the fuck out of in this, because so Carter, are you familiar with Ezekiel Sims any at all?
Bare minimum.
Okay, so this is what he normally looks like in the comics. I don't know where they got this bullshit from. Where
to that shadow art, I know that art.
Yeah, that is. Well, it's funny to me because I feel like they're like, nah, we got to make him look like this, because otherwise folks won't know he's Spider-Man. And I'm just kind of like, bruh. Now, like, when dude is out of costume, he looks vaguely more like the Ezekiel Sims from the comics. Not that that's important. I think there's a part in the trailer where his hair actually does go white. I don't, my memory on that is kind of sketch, but I do remember seeing something along those lines. But yeah, here's where you've lost me, Carter. Because I know what they're trying to do. Carter. Did you notice Adam Scott in this? In the trailer? So Adam Scott shows up in this trailer. And you're like, oh, he's probably just playing some random dude.
Okay. Explain this to me, because I saw this on Twitter and like, oh my God, they're going to do what I think they're going to do. Explain this to me. I'm ready to hear. What is this?
So Adam Scott is playing. Wait, are y'all sitting down? And I just want to put this out. He ain't Peter. He's not the Peter Parker of this universe. He is the Ben Parker of this universe. It's Emma Roberts as May Parker, Adam Scott as Ben Parker. And I think what people are hoping for is that he's going to wind up being Ben Reilly. Like they're hoping that he's going to get the comeback as Ben Reilly or some shit. Look. Stop, y'all. Stop. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what I thought of when I saw the trailer for this movie, Carter? And I even said this on Twitter. I was like, you know what? This movie is going to be dumb. It's going to be a hot mess. But I said, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. But this movie is forcing me to ask the question. Will it be a fun hot mess? Like, because there's some movies that are like just stupid, but they're fun. Like Con Air. Con Air is a dumb movie, but it's fun.
Sony don't know how to do it. Sony don't know how Sony nowadays don't know how to do that. Because I know what you want, but you ain't getting that.
No.
Because they're not looking at them as dumb fun. What
was that movie? Did you see the trailer for that movie Argyle?
Yes.
The one with
yes, with Henry Cavill and stuff like that. That's dumb fun.
Yeah, that's dumb fun. That's what, like, And honestly, I agree with you.
Mhm.
I don't think this is going to be Argyle. This isn't going to be Argyle dumb fun. This is just going to be dumb.
I can't
Is
remember
what this is going to be.
who I watched that. Man, they motherfuckers really trying to take this shit serious,
Right? Yeah. Look, Sony is
From
a type of
Morbius
oh my
on
god.
to this. They really taking this shit serious. You know what I want? Because we keep seeing this so much with Zaslav and Warner Brothers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I really, really, really want to know, because I can clearly tell what Sony's trying to do. The reason these movies are getting pumped out like this is because that's money we didn't have before.
Right.
That's
No,
how
that's
they're looking at
100%.
these.
100%.
That's all that is. Why y'all keep asking why we doing them? We didn't have these millions or whatever the fuck before we did it, so that's why we did. But here's my thing, and the reason I bring up Warner Brothers and Zaslav,
Mhm.
because I don't know about Morbius. I
Mm.
really want to know how much these fucking movies cost to make, and
Oh
how
my
much they're
God.
actually bringing in.
Mhm.
Because I can't see nothing more than what, breaking even from a lot
Oh,
of these.
100%.
I really want to see how much they put in and how much they got back.
I honestly don't. So, okay, I'm gonna put this in perspective in here. Let me move that out of the way. Sorry, that was when I was
What's
looking for
weird?
bubblegum
Boy said
crisis
it's
shit.
madam time. That boy said it's madam time.
Oh my god. I'm looking up the box office for Morbius, and I'm gonna show y'all.
Uh-oh.
Cause so here, first and foremost, I want to tell y'all the budget for Morbius. Morbius had a budget of okay, so I'll say this. Morbius is technically a financial success in a roundabout way. It was a movie that cost him anywhere between $75 to $83 million.
Okay.
And it made here, I'm gonna pull this over so y'all can see. Let's enhance. This movie brought in $167 million worldwide. So technically, even though Morbius was critically panned, it made money. And this is why they keep doing shit like this. This
Blerd
is why
Radio
they
made a-
keep doing shit like this.
Blerd Radio said maybe they're making their money back in overseas markets. Here's the thing with
Yes.
Morbius.
Oh, look at the international.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the international. They made more overseas than they did domestically.
Yeah. So, and here's my question when it pertains to Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
Was it before? And this is something we will never be able to tell, and who the fuck cares? But it actually it has grounds. Was it before or after It's Morbin time?
Oh, it was after. It was after it was Morbin time.
It was because of memes and shit.
Yeah.
They got more money out of this. So okay, that's my okay.
Look, let me tell you something here. Just like I've said earlier, I feel like Succession is always going to be quoted on the show now. Sony is not serious people. They saw all those memes about Morbius and they got the wrong message. People weren't like laughing with them, they were being laughed at, and Sony did not have the self-awareness enough to recognize that, and they put that movie back out and it bombed again. But because they put it back out again, it made enough money to and also VOD, it made a lot of money on VOD as well. So and that's why, like, I think we said this on Nerds of Culture when I talked about the Marvels. I said that, the Marvels is, as current state, it is, bombing in the box office, but it'll make its money back on VOD because it's already made over half its budget just in its first week.
There was a Matt Damon video that it was an interview he had, where if you all haven't seen it, just look up like Matt Damon talks about film money, whatever the fuck.
Yes.
But he made it a point to say that he could come out with a certain movie that wouldn't do so hot in theaters, but it wouldn't matter because of, at that time, DVD market.
Right.
So they could afford to have it crash and burn in theaters because you could make that money back in DVDs, which was almost like theater again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with you telling me about the VODs made a lot of that bread, it makes absolute sense. So yeah, I can see it.
One of our personal favorite movies, Carter, Dread.
Yeah.
Dread bombed in the box office.
Mm-hmm.
And it made all of its money back and then some.
It broke records with Blu-ray sales and shit. And still didn't get a sequel.
Off Blu-ray alone.
Mm-hmm.
Blu-ray alone. So yeah, it can happen. It can happen. It's not. It's not something like, oh my God, they're never gonna, look. And also, this movie was made in and around the same time as Morbius, so I don't think that they made an active choice to try and bank off this. But like, I'm pretty sure because this movie started filming a long time ago. It's actually been ready to release for a while. This movie's just been held on to, because it was supposed to come out last year. Summer of last year. But here's where I think we're going to see a real failure, because guess when it comes out, Carter? Valentine's Day. That is a horrible time to release a movie. So January and February are like the dumping grounds for movies. Like, that's where movies go to die.
Why are they trying to get people in trouble in their relationships? Because you're going to be oogling Sydney Sweeney and get popcorn and soda knocked in your damn face.
Yeah.
That's low down.
Well, see, you know what they're trying to do? I think they're trying to bank, because, it worked for Deadpool. It worked for Deadpool. Deadpool, I think it came out on Valentine's Day. But the thing is, people actually wanted to see Deadpool. People actually wanted to see Deadpool.
You got some nerves trying to put Deadpool and Madam Web. Just big down.
No. Stop. I
did not want us talking about this that long.
I didn't either.
Sony, y'all are some sickos, bro.
Bruh, I just look. All I'm gonna. I think the only other thing I really had. The only other thing I think I really had to say about this movie is, it looks like Groundhog's Day by way of Spider-Man shenanigans. That's basically what this is. The whole plot is just centered around Madam Web doing some shit and then seeing it fail, and then, I would say, maybe not even like going back and repeating, but she's getting a glimpse of what's about to happen, and then she tries to change it based on what she saw. That's kind of more of what's going on here. But all that said, yeah, I'm gonna go see it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that, dude, Elite X1, thank you for that. So Elite X1 sent me a list. These are all of the movies that are in active development by Sony right now. Look, you know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this, because just forgive me for a moment. There you go. I'm gonna just take a screenshot of that, because I want to share this. I want to share this with y'all. Let's see here. Here it is. Bam. This is what Elite X1 had put in the Discord chat just a moment ago. Here, I'm gonna zoom it out so you can see the whole thing. But he said, Venom 3 in development, slated for July 12, 2024. Kraven the Hunter in production, slated for August 30th, 2024. Madam Web in production, slated for February 16th, 2024. Untitled Sony Marvel movie, November 2024. Untitled Sony Marvel live action movie, June 27, 2025. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse in production, date to be determined. El Muerte in development, date to be determined. Actually, that one might not even be true anymore, because Bad Bunny basically said that the movie got dropped. Silk Spider Society, that's the one that's through Amazon. In development, date to be determined. Spider-Man Noir series, which was also going to be through Amazon, in development, date to be determined. Untitled female cast Into the Spider-Verse spinoff. This is something that has actually been an active, or some level of active development since the first Into the Spider-Verse movie came out. Black Cat, status unknown. Silver Sable, unknown. Night Watch, unknown. Jackpot, unknown. Live action Miles Morales project, status unknown. Yeah, this is dumb. This is dumb. Like, you know what this reminds me of, Carter? Remember when the DCEU was in its early phases, and every time they would put something out, they'd be like, it would be a list just like this. It would be a list just like this, but instead of like Marvel shit, it would read, Nightwing movie, Batman Gotham by Gaslight movie, Green Lantern buddy cop movie, Flash and Cyborg buddy cop movie, Cyborg solo movie, Flash solo movie, Wonder Woman's so it would just be a list that just read like boom, 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 just a bunch of just random shit. And if people didn't respond to it well, you see shit get taken off that list and then get replaced with something else or some other bullshit. Dude, get me the fuck out of here with this shit. You know what, Carter? I don't even want to talk about this shit no more. You know what I want to talk about? Man, what is your recommended? What is your recommended? That's what I want to talk about. That's actually, no, before you even know it, I'm gonna give you a moment because you know what, honestly, we got some super chats I want to go back and read too, so we're gonna go back and do that. We'll go back and do that first. But man, I do he's angry. Talk about this movie just made me irrationally mad all of a sudden. Hold on, wait a minute. Here, let's do it here. Bam. Man, we got Left Face out here. Robo off of the Nerds of Culture podcast with the dude out the Blerd Club Diamond Mine said, Madam Web will probably be bad because it's Sony. We've had unknowns blow up before, but yeah, I mean, and that's true. We have Guardians of the Galaxy. That was unknown, but man, that was lightning in a bottle. That was lightning in a fucking bottle. They also gave us the 1999 super chat. Says, have you all shared this in your comic groups and socials? If you think Blerd Without Fear deserves to be bigger, make sure you share everywhere. And you know what? I don't see. I didn't say that, but one of y'all said this. So even though technically, Robo, he works with me on Nerds of Culture, but this is out here, and this is not an unfair statement. If you like what you see, you want to see it get bigger, you want to see it grow bigger, you want to see you want to see more stuff, you want to see the channel just blow up, that is a way to help. Sharing and not just the live streams, but all the other videos. If you check out one of my videos and if you're part of some nerd group, Facebook group, Reddit group, some comic book thread, whatever, dude, don't keep this as your dirty little secret, okay? Don't do that. Share me with the world. I want to go viral like the message in Children of the Vault. That's what I want to do. There you go. For those that read Children of the Vault. We also got $2 out here from Just Another Monster. Says, not gonna lie, may see this movie just to check the costume. That's fair. Not an unfair statement. LJ Brown with the £5 says, worst part is Sony rejected a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie over this and an El Muerto movie. Yeah. Once again, honestly, I would have rather them done a Silver Sable and Black Cat. I would have rather. And then I just saw this. Dude, Gearless Mo out here. A menace. It says Miguel O'Hara is out there allowing this. So that's who. Okay, so you know what? That's who I blame now. Spider-Man 2099. It's his fault. This is why all this is happening. It's his fault. It's okay though. Also, by the way, Gillis Mo, thank you for that. 1999. In the super chat. Thank you for that, man. We appreciate you, pimp. Let's see here. Big K Gaming out here says, with the $4.99 says a multiverse of spider people and Sony chooses Madam Web, the Hypno Hustler, and El Muerto. What the fuck? I forgot about Hypno Hustler.
You didn't forget about this shit. You just know how much it enrages me. Here's the thing that I want to ask with that question. Go ahead, shoot. Sony isn't really allowed to use like the big name spider people. All they have are the Hypno Hustlers and El Muerte and Madam Web, correct?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is not true. That's not true.
Okay.
Anything that is under the Spider-Man umbrella, and that includes Venom. Yeah. That includes Carnage. That includes any character. Okay, so here's where it gets a little nebulous. If your character debuted in a Spider-Man comic, or the character you're thinking about, if that character debuted in a Spider-Man comic, or is like established as a regular Spider-Man like IP, that's where all that falls in. That's why you see all these different Spider characters and maybe not others. Like, case in point, a rare instance of that not being the case is Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau debuted in a Spider-Man comic, but she's not technically a Spider-Man character. That's why Marvel is able to use her in the MCU versus not. But I'm pretty sure that was why you didn't see her for a while, is because they had to navigate that.
I assume that they had Spider-Man and just the misfits. So I that's what my thinking was, and that's why you see these Cravens and the Hypno Hustlers and shit like that, is because that's all they can use, is what I thought. But if you're sitting here with a straight face, not lying, and are completely telling me with 100% validity that they could use a Ben Reilly, a Kane Parker, and we getting El Muerte and Madam Webb.
Oh no, this right here.
No, read the super chat.
No. What LJ just says Sony has control of Null, and that scares me.
That is wild.
Yeah, Sony has control. Yeah, they do actually. If Sony wants to, they could put Null in a movie if they want to. And the reason I say that they can is because technically, they have kind of slick already hinted at him, not in the movies, but in the games. So there you go. Also, man, oh my God, Gearless Mo out here hitting us for max damage in Final Fantasy with the 99.99. Says, oh, one more thing. Loved the culture stream. Looking forward to the next entry, but I did miss seeing and hearing Carter. Yeah, that's one of those things. Like I said, we're going to be having, Carter and I are going to be doing something. Like I said, it's the logistics on it that I want to make sure I have nailed down. How I want to do it, it's something Carter and I are going to have to talk about a little bit more. Usually when he and I talk, it's us just bullshitting. But this is one of those, we're going to have to force ourselves to sit down and work it out. But the idea is to have a call-in show, is what I want. So that, y'all can call in, ask us a question. And I'll be honest, I don't want anyone to, think that, oh, I'm gonna get to sit and hang out on the call for the whole show. No, I mean, you could call in, give you maybe 2-3 minutes. Honestly, 3 minutes is the max. Give you just a few minutes to ask a question, and then and then we answer it.
Recommended, my brother.
Yes, go ahead. Go off.
Okay, so I have a recommended, but I actually want to ask you about another comic because it ended this week. But my recommended this week is going to be a DC book from Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. That was the creative team that did one of my favorite books from last year, Batman on One Bad Day, the Clayface one shot. They just came out with a new book this week called Outsiders. It's the new #1. We got Jace Fox, Drummer, and Batwoman. So this first issue, it was me kind of just dipping my toe in, just something different. But when I saw the creative team, I said, okay, I'm giving this a read, just off the strength of what I have read of theirs. And for the most part, this is something away from Gotham. It's away from Bruce. This is not, they make it a point to say in the issue, this is not a Batman thing, where it almost seems like it's it's Luke Fox and Batwoman.
Yes, Luke Fox.
It seems like it's the three of them. Think like an episode of Fringe, but it's Batwing, Batwoman, and Drummer. That's what it seems like to me. It
also kind of seems like just to interject real quick, it also kind of seems like a slick authority. Like they're it's like almost like they're kind of messing with Wildstorm a little bit. In
authority, no. Planetary,
yes. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Planetary,
yeah. So that's what I'm going to be recommending you all give a shot this week. Another book that I actually want to talk about real quick, real fast. Mark Millar's Big Game
that
ended
came out
this week with issue #5, and the reason I wanted to talk to you about it was just because I want to know. Because you already had, you read a couple issues and like, okay, I know where this is going. So with it ending, I want to know what you thought was going to happen. And I want to see how close you were to just being on the money.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't read it. I haven't read it yet.
Great, but what did you? Because I know you told me that you'd read a few. You had read some issues, and okay, I see where this is gonna go. I know how.
Oh, I see what you mean. I get your meaning now. Okay, yeah. Honestly, so I thought initially this was actually before we got to, I think it was issue 4, where the Magic Order showed up. I thought they were gonna, pull some move where they brought in the Magic Order at the last minute to undo the stuff that had happened. But when you got to issue 4, they pretty much took that off the table. Well, in more ways than one, because ultimately they were like, oh, nope, can't do that. And for 2, they also said that, even if they could, if you had been keeping up with the series up to that point, the Magic Order gets shit on a little bit, just like everybody else gets shit on just a little bit, as we have seen in some of the other issues. I think that was one of the big criticisms I saw a lot of people say, is that all these characters are getting like dunked on by all these wanted characters. But ultimately, I kind of felt like they were gonna do some kind of timey-wimey multiverse bullshit to fix the problem.
All right, spoilers for this, just because I wanted to see how close.
For me, you can spoil it. I don't care.
Yeah. So timey-wimey bullshit. Yes. If Hit Girl used the dead body, because they have been using the dead body of one of the brothers from Chrononauts to go back in time. Hit Girl was able to sneak, go back well before Prodigy and them died, and let them know the skinny.
Gotcha.
So Magic Order had a conversation with Dave Lazuski, the first Kick-Ass, about how, again, they could not get involved because it's not magic related. And he said, but it is. He said, no, we've already looked up Diablos, the sorcerer. There's no magic stuff. And it's like, but, and this part is probably going to get you. It was basically semantics. It was like, but he has, it is a magical threat. And they're like, what do you mean? His name is Diablos, the sorcerer. He has sorcerer in the name.
Oh my God.
Word. So that's how they were able.
Here, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
So that's how the Magic Order was able to get involved. They pulled every good guy from every Millar book, Jupiter's Legacy, Superior, the whole 9. Wesley got. He got his head blown off. Then you see Hit Girl get her head blown off, but then you find out it's the Hit Girl from when they went in the past. It was the wrong time. Hit Girl. Long story short. Long and short of it, good guys won. Wesley Gibson doesn't go to hell because there is no heaven and hell in Mark Millar's world. He ends up in a in between where he then gets his head lopped off from a character that was in the Millar book Reborn.
Oh God.
And the reason I was wanting to see your opinion on it, because there's a book that you like of his, Ambassadors. Okay.
Yes.
When Kick-Ass tells the Magic Order his name, he has sorcerer in the name, it's magic related. And they're like, you know what? Because he even makes it a point, you're gonna argue semantics. The Magic Order gives Kick-Ass powers to help fight the fraternity. And in those powers, he was able to show how big of a hero he was, Blerd Without Fear.
Oh God.
So now
he's in the
America himself.
Oh God.
The America ambassador is Kick-Ass. So that's what you got to look forward to, big dog.
Honestly, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen at some point. I didn't know it was going to happen like that. Like Mark Millar's books always just do weird shit. Like they never end on like there's ending a story and then there's Mark Millar ending a story. Like it's just like it always does this. Mine is going to be, I'm going to do mine quickly. It's Philadelphia number 31. This is a series return. When last we left off with Philadelphia, which was in issue number 30, we saw that Spawn had gotten dragged into the proceedings. And in this issue, we actually get to see Spawn do his thing. And as as a guy who is not like the hugest fan of Spawn, I actually liked how Rodney Barnes included him in this, because he is pretty much the character I've always imagined him being. He's a bit of an idiot and does not listen. He is stubborn and hard-headed. Spawn is the type of character that is the reason why I always make the argument that when two people who are on the same side as superheroes in comic books, they always have to fight. Spawn is the reason why those people fight.
I could not wait to hear what you thought of this, because I wanted to see what you thought about how they went with the voice of Spawn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I liked it. I actually liked how they did it. I also appreciated the fact that he was just super aggro and that everyone was like, dude, just calm the fuck down. And even when they told him what was going on, he literally had, like it was one of those things, like, he wouldn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, see, and the whole time I was reading, I was like, see, that's why your ass lost Wanda. That's why, I was like, that's why your ass got burnt up. That's why you Captain Crispy. That's why your homie Chapel was sitting there knocking old girl off and screaming, talking about, I'm sorry, Al. I'm sorry. As he's shooting the club up.
Danger.
I'm sorry. Anyway. But no, I liked it though. I appreciated it though, because I was kind of worried that Rodney Barnes was going to take Spawn and try and make him cooler than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad that honestly, if I were to write a comic with Spawn in it, this is how I would write Spawn. I would write him exactly this way. Like it was literally word for word, shot for shot, what I would have made him do. I would have made him be an asshole and someone who cannot be reasoned with, no matter how reasonable you are. And yeah, that I was like, dude, this is perfect. I was like, honestly, this is how Spawn sounds to normal people. This is how Spawn sounds to other superheroes. This is how he sounds to anyone who is like reading his comic and it's just like, dude, calm down.
Now watch me fuck your head up.
Go ahead.
It's
shoot.
hilarious to hear you say that, because the newest issue of The Scorch that came out is probably the most loving and caring I have ever seen that character in the history of ever Spawn was ever created.
Oh my God.
With what he did with She-Spawn. That is the most considerate and caring. That did not read like Spawn.
No. How Rodney Barnes writing a better Spawn than Scorched? I'm just saying.
I ain't gonna say it was better. It's just from everything you're describing, because that's how Spawn is in his book. That's how Spawn is in King Spawn. Yep. But in Scorched, that was the most considerate fucking hell Spawn I have ever seen in decades.
My God. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got. Let's get into the questions from the Discord so we don't stay over long. We're gonna try and do these in some relatively quick fashion here.
Oh, we're at 2.5. Sweet.
Yeah. Right now. I want to get us moving. So greetings, Blerd Carter. Hope life is treating you well. It was a typo. Question is, fans' dislike on the Transformers movies a legitimate one?
The original 3?
Yeah. Oh, I would say the original 4. Yes. Because remember, it was a Transformers Rise of the Fallen. What was the third one?
Something with the fucking moon. Something moon.
Dark of the Moon, and then there was The Last Night. And I think
forgot about that one.
Yeah, and I think there might have been another one somewhere in there too. I don't remember. But yeah, I like Bumblebee, and I even like Rise of the Beast, even though it gets real dumb at the end. But I do like those. So I think they have room to improve, though I feel like they gave that movie the kiss of death by trying to set up a franchise elsewhere at the end of that movie. Because there's a stinger at the end of it. Did you watch the stinger for Rise of the Beast?
Yes, and it shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah, because they're trying to set up G.I. Joe. I'm just like,
So I guess they just want comics and films to be one big baby.
I guess so. But yeah, I do think it's legitimate hate. Now, the recent ones, I don't think that's legitimate hate. Those are people just being haters. But like, if you're talking about the early ones, oh, most certainly. That's legit. LJ Brown says, hi, dynamic duo, Ernie and Carter. What's a film, animation, or series that was poorly advertised and then you gave it a shot and you loved it? Mine is Scott Pilgrim. Okay, so yeah. Man, that was poorly advertised?
Oh, okay. Here, I give you
Go
one
ahead,
real
shoot.
quick, real fast. The Mighty Ducks cartoon. That shit was poorly advertised because I thought for sure it was just gonna be the movie characters in cartoon form. So I got to see Kenan Thompson beam somebody with a knuckle puck in animated form, and it was real ass ducks blowing shit up. I wasn't mad at it though.
Some of y'all may not remember this movie. There was a movie called Rise. I think it was called Rise of the Guardians.
Yes, I remember that.
That movie was not well advertised, but I really liked it. I thought it was good, and like it never caught on. But like I was like, damn, I'm sad that this didn't, get to become something more. So yeah, look up Rise of the Guardians. You'll know what I'm talking about. Tribe Got Thanos says, good evening, my brothers, and happy Turkey Day in advance. Actually, yeah, happy Turkey Day in advance to everybody. We'll be back for that, but because it's after, obviously. But yeah, but I will say it now because I won't get to say it then. But it says, I've been reading more indie comics recently, and while I've liked the majority of what I've read, it feels like most of these, even some I liked, are just movie/TV pitches. I'm not against writers trying to get a bag, but it feels kind of gross when it just seems like writers are just using comics to propel themselves into other avenues. It's also ironic that people shit on the big two for IP mining when it's just as bad in the indie space. Have you guys noticed that, or am I just tripping? Also, get those motherfucking likes up, or else John Morant is gonna come through with the blicky on your ass. Oh my god, dude, man, look, that poor boy, Lord have mercy.
Y'all gonna leave John Wick alone now.
Look, yeah, right.
But
I'm surprised I haven't seen that meme yet.
But that question, that sounds like, now correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that a majority of one of your favorite imprints, that AWA?
Yeah, AWA, Upshot, almost all those comics are pitches for movies. Like those comics are made with the express intent of getting a movie made. And it also doesn't help that a lot of indie comics, they get mined like that because people want to try and get their hands on hot properties, but that aren't Marvel or DC, because, well, Marvel and DC can already make their own shit. So that's why you see that a lot in the indie space as well. But there are a lot of indie people who they like. Okay, so honestly, keep it a buck. Yeah, we were talking about Mark Millar just a little bit ago. Mark Millar is no better. Every comic he has ever made is for the most part, was a movie script that failed.
And the majority of the motherfuckers do better when somebody actually takes them and turns them into something.
Yeah, because like Wanted, that was a movie script that he pitched that got turned down, so he turned it into a comic. Same goes for Kick-Ass. And I would wager a lot of his other comics were that way as well. And yeah, just is what it is. Like, I will say from a writer's perspective, I don't write anything with the express purpose of it being adapted, but it is something that is in the back of my head, like, what if? Like, that's always a nice what if to have in the back of your head. But I feel like telling the story is more important than trying to, like, get an IP off the ground. Jay Dizzle says, brothers, I'd love y'all thoughts on how you understand the Marvel and or MCU multiverse concept in connection to Marvel cosmology. At the end of Loki, he is now holding together the strands of reality itself, I guess. And his, I guess, not me. Wasn't second guessing. Just want to make sure that that was out there, and is himself outside of time. My question is, when someone time travels, they can inadvertently kickstart a new timeline, but does that mean the new timeline is an actual new universe? I guess I always thought of the concepts of new timelines as distinct from actual different universes, but if I'm wrong, and they are one and the same, then that would make Loki elevated higher than eternity, the living tribunal, the Beyonder, and other godlike entities, right? So yeah, here's the thing, and honestly, this is kind of why the ending of Loki, I just kind of just went with it. It was one of those things, I just said, you know what? Okay. Because here's the thing. I personally, the way I look at it is if someone goes back in time and the way that it is in the comics is you end up with things that aren't like alternate realities, but temporary reality numbers or time reality numbers, whatever they call it. Like, yeah, you have some certain Earths that are Earth TRN this or Earth TRN that. Those are things that could potentially happen based on circumstances that have happened currently. But the way the MCU does it is kind of weird. I feel like every time someone time travels, they make it seem as though they've created a new reality. And just based on the virtue of Loki and what he is capable of in the comics, as far as being the god of stories, there's also the idea that anything that Loki thinks up becomes part of reality or part of some other reality. So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, this is why I think the multiverse is one of those things that no one should ever try and deep dive into on any serious level. And I don't mean that from a fan perspective. I mean that from a movie perspective, like a storytelling perspective. I feel like the moment you start trying to explain this shit in a movie, this is why my eyes glaze over. Because even in Avengers Endgame, when they were trying to explain how time travel worked, I was like, okay, whatever. I don't even need it to be intelligent. Just here's my thing: as long as you follow the rules that you have set in place, that is what I care about more. I don't care if it's real or realistic or whatever. As long as if you tell me at the beginning of the movie that when you time travel, whenever you go back in time, you create an alternate reality or a divergent timeline, and then by the end of the movie, shit that was happening in the divergent timeline is now taking place in the main, that's when I'm gonna start being like, okay, you don't follow your own rules. You're not serious people. But yeah, that's just me. Carter, you may have a completely different stance, but that's just me.
All right. Last question from
Yes.
Discord from JWR 2.0. Good
Yes.
afternoon, my fellow blurs. The solicitations for Free Comic Book Day are out, and it looks like Ernie's girl, Gail Simone,
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
writing X-Men. Gotta say, I was not expecting Tom Brevoort to put a woman on the flagship X book, but I am here for it. What are your thoughts on this news, and does it raise your expectations for the rest of the lineup?
So here's the thing. I love Gail Simone. And if Gail Simone is in fact going to be on the core X-Men title of record, then yes, this is a dub. This is a win, no matter how you slice it up. Gail Simone is one of my favorite writers of all time, period. Hands down, end of story. Her Birds of Prey made me a fan of the series. Her Wonder Woman reminded me why I liked the... Because I used to... full disclosure, I didn't really give too much of a shit about Wonder Woman back in the day. I mean, I thought she was a cool character, but she was never like, oh, I got to go read Wonder Woman. But when Gail Simone was writing that shit, I was like, oh no, every issue. Batgirl, and her Red Sonja, and so on and so forth. I love a lot of what Gail Simone does. So yeah, if she's writing it, which I don't think she's said anything on Twitter, because I follow her on Twitter, and I went to her page and looked to see if she said anything. She hasn't really seemed to respond to any of the rumors yet. But like, if it is true, because she is writing the X-Men issue that's in that Free Comic Book Day issue that's coming up, and usually that's a sign of who's going to be writing what's coming up. If that's the case, oh, that's money. But see, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because if she I don't think she's gonna just throw up some bullshit. But if it turns out to like just kind of be just okay, I'll be sad. So. But yeah, Gail Simone's one of those people who, like, I don't mind being a little parasocial with, because she is so open on her social media. But anyway, yeah, it's good news. This is good news all the way around, no matter how you slice it. Let's get into first let's get into stuff that's going on in the chat. We actually got a man, RZ Parks out here says a gearless is you or your job hiring. Oh Lord. Y'all ain't shit. Let's see here. Let's get into our questions from the chat. We're gonna first hit up Nerd Large, who hit us with the 1999 super chat. Says salutations. Blurredopolis says love Pascal, but also not feeling his and the other F4 castings. Maybe we'll get an all black Fantastic Four one day. That ain't gonna happen. Also, what in the 50 Shades of Diddy do we need to do to get those likes up? Man, I don't know. Do I need to pull a jaw? Do I need to pull a jaw and go get the gun? Get the blicky? Do I need to do it? I don't know. I mean, like I said, a blur without fear, blur with the pistol, blur with the strap.
Oh Lord.
Oh, but no. Let's see. Here, let's get into our questions. See what we got here. Oh man.
I see one from YTube Noob. Do you agree with the notion that you need a degree in research to figure out what to read in comics?
Oh God. Honestly, I don't. Here's the thing. If you're talking about I don't think you do. I honestly don't think you do. But I do feel like some people make it seem like you do. Okay, you can't really see everything up here. I have a whole shelf full of comics that I read. These are all comics. A lot of the stuff you see up the shelf is stuff I have read. And I own these things just by virtue of the fact that I love them. So I bought them in a bigger or better or hardcover edition or whatever. And then there's also some comics you can't really see on here. They're like my little floppy paperback trade, whatever. Those things I just kind of bought on a whim, whatever. And then there's other comics that I check out digitally, whatever, something like that. And I tell people all the time, I read a lot of comics, but I mean, I don't think it's that difficult. I mean, here's the thing. I will say, as I've gotten older, my memory, as I joked about this in the Alpha Flight video, sometimes I'm just not even thinking about it, and I just say a thing because I'm just talking. So sometimes I might blurt out something that might not be 100% accurate, at least as far as the whole, when I called Dr. Heather Hudson, Dr. Heather Tucker, just because I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And I just didn't catch it because I wasn't thinking about it, honestly. But for the most part, I'm very careful about. I still am at that same time very careful about what I say. I try not to say anything that I don't honestly believe. But yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Bill says, question: have you seen the teaser?
Just got you talking about that.
Oh yeah, yep, that's it. Yep. So you know my
right.
you know my answer. I won't I won't count that one. I'm not gonna count that one.
Oh yeah, of course. There's one from
Marvel,
Big K Gaming. Oh, you got it?
I found one from that was a little bit further up.
Okay.
I think it's further up. Yeah, I think this is further up.
Okay.
We got one here from Marvel Enthusiast. Says, question: do we think Disney would take over Hollywood movies, TV series for horror, drama, thriller, psychological, dark, fantasy, action, slasher, black comedy in animated form, GPG? No, I don't think that would happen at all, because that's just not their thing. It's not their thing at all. I see. Let's see. This isn't a question. This is actually something more for me. It says, do you have a Discord? I want to send you a gift.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay,
got you. It's in your DMs now. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. Bam. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
There's one from Big K Gaming saying, he's asking, what comic book character got the best style both in super suit and streetwear?
Man, that's a tough one. I would like to say, oh well, man, no, I can't say that one because he's had some trash costumes before. Not gonna lie, Luke Cage. I'll give it to Luke Cage because Luke Cage be rocking them suits lately, and I appreciate it. I like it. I like
say
Luke Cage.
his super suit is his streetwear. Like what,
Exactly.
You cheating, bro.
No, but he got the like. Remember what? When Sanford Green was doing the art on Luke, was it Power Man and Iron Fist?
Man and Iron Fist. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he was rocking the vest. I was like, dude, I like that. I was like, dude, fresh with the vest, man. I like it. We got another one that's a little bit further up. I don't want to miss this one because it was it was back here.
I had to refresh mine, so I can't. So
yeah, this one. Wait, did I lose it? Please tell me I didn't lose it. I saw it earlier, and here it is. Dinosaur Stone says, should all anime OVA based on manga or something like that could be like live action instead? Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why that's not tenable. As much as people love Japan and anime, and I feel like people give Japan a pass on a lot of things they shouldn't. But let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
Anime does not do well in live action a lot of the time. Now, I know a lot of people want to say that, like, oh, well, what about One Piece? One Piece is fine. But I'm going to be honest with you. I still have issues with it. Like, it's not perfect. It's flawed, very flawed. And I'm not saying from like an adaptation perspective. I'm talking about from like a production standpoint. The acting in that show is awful because they're trying to recreate the feelings and vibes from the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where all that stuff falls flat, is that because in Japan, they do live action all the time. It's called tokusatsu. Like Super Sentai Kamen Rider, all those are basically anime just in live action form. Now, if you go back and watch some live action versions of anime stuff like Devilman, Casher and Sins, God Help You, the Attack on Titan 2-part movie. Ooh, that was so awful. Japan's just not good at it, and here's the reason. They don't have the budgets that we do. Like, they do better with smaller budgets. Like, case in point, the Rurouni Kenshin films are great. I think they've made 4 of them now. They are all fantastic. But they don't require as big a budget as some other things. And that's the problem. Live action, honestly, anime is never going to translate one-to-one to live action. It never will. And honestly, I don't think anyone should be looking for it because it doesn't work. It legit just does not work. But it's neither here nor there. That was the last question, I believe.
Wait. Plus, let me just get this out of the way. I
Yeah.
feel like with One Piece, I think One Piece was so accepted because, in my opinion, that's the best one people have gotten in decades.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one reason that a lot of people are so receptive to it, is just because.
Carter, you really trying to watch Bleach, ain't you?
No.
Look at the
That's
time.
all I'm gonna say to that. Ugh.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's what I was like, oh shit.
Oh no, that's all I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's it for the show, y'all. Thank you so much, and we got to get out of here because I'm really not trying to watch Bleach. I'm sorry. I objectively what's up?
No.
Oh no, I was saying. I thought you were trying to get my attention on something. Oh, but no, I objectively hate Bleach. So yeah, I refuse. So we're gonna get out of here. That's it. Thank you all so much for the chats, the super chats, the lurkers, the people who are hiding in the shadows, and so on and so forth. But yes, we got to get out of here. And yeah, I gotta work on Patreon exclusive channel content, all that stuff here in a little bit. So you'll probably be getting that soon. Sorry, I've been kind of hit or miss with that stuff lately. I've just been super busy. But yeah, I love you all 3,000, and I hope you all have a wonderful, happy, safe, and very, very full Thanksgiving. Thank you all so much for the love, and we will see you all next time. For Carter Presents, I'm the Blerd Without Fear, and Madam Webb, you can go to hell.